coming to take over. I'm the new champion of STOL, and I'm here to stay.
Welcome to National STOL. We've been traveling all over the country this year, and today we're kicking off competition in Washington State, the first time the circuit has come up to the Pacific Northwest. This is our fourth stop on the 2024 circuit. We've been touring America with our elite cadre of bush pilots. If you're new here to National STOL, it's all about taking off and landing short. Real short. We're competing on a 44-year-old volcanic eruption ash runway from Mount St. Helens here at the air show. Get ready. This is National STOL Moses Lake 2024. And good morning, everyone. Welcome to National STOL. My name's Ryan Dombrowski. I'm joined here by the fabulous and amazing Corey Robin.
Good to be here, Ryan.
And we are getting ready to kick off an amazing morning of competition. Short landings, short takeoffs here at Moses Lake in Washington at the Moses Lake Airshow. We are gearing up for actually a really exciting day, Corey. We've got our competition happening right out there on that volcanic ash, Mount St. Helens, 44 years ago, depositing a runway for us. And later, there's going to be some RC action. There's going to be some military jets. There's a full air show all day today, aviation excitement right here in Moses Lake.
You can feel the energy start to build as the ramp starts to fill with all the spectators. We're expecting in excess of 22,000 spectators today in Moses Lake at the air show. So if you're watching online and you're in the area, come on out and be here in person. We'd love to have you as a part of the air show family.
The air show family. You and I are part of the air show family now, and let's talk a little bit about our STOL family. So as people tune in, they're seeing that runway there. We're getting it all prepped and ready. The aircraft are getting ready to have props turning. We should talk a little bit about what National STOL is. And I always say, very shorthand, it's a spot landing competition where aircraft are landing at a specific point, turned up to 11. But you have a really interesting way of explaining it for the folks at home.
Yeah, you know, what I love to do in my airplane is get out into the wild. So what I love about National STOL is imagine you're out in the wild and you want to land on a beautiful sandbar out in the wilderness. And that sandbar is about, I don't know, let's say it's 500 feet long. And you've got an airplane that's capable of accomplishing that feat. Well, National STOL, we set out a line across the runway. That's the beginning of the sandbar, and somewhere down the runway is the end of the sandbar. And so your goal is to take off and land on that sandbar as safely as possible. But this is National STOL, and it's a competition. So we've got pilots going head-to-head to see who can do it the shortest.
So you'll see out there, once we look back at the runway, you'll see that line that they've painted. It's normally white. For our longtime fans, they're like, why is the line yellow? It's because from the air, you actually can't see it if you paint it white on the volcanic ash that is part of the runway. So we had to call an audible, put some yellow paint down. Everything lives and dies in National STOL by that line. We've got a line judge. We'll explain it a little bit more as we go. But yeah, really exciting to be here in Moses Lake. We're getting that already. You see the line judges, they read the scores. We'll explain a little bit more about that as well. I want to take a moment, though. You're going to see a lot of amazing pilots today, and it's really cool because we're up in the Pacific Northwest. You're going to see pilots that haven't had a chance to make the long trip to maybe more of the central states or the eastern United States where National STOL has been so far this season. So new names. Vote for your favorite. You're going to watch a lot of people competing today. Vote for your favorite at nationalstol.com/vote. That's nationalstol.com/vote.
Yeah, so as you're watching the show today, we'll bring that up a couple of times because that is a coveted prize here. We actually have a prize ceremony this afternoon, and the pilots really try to put on a great show. But keep in mind, this is also a competition. So they're out there to really, competition mode. It's really exciting. I can hear the engines running. We're about to introduce some of these pilots. It's so much fun. Air show.
Airshow. Things you're going to see today, first and foremost, are going to be aircraft separated into different classes. That's how we maintain competitiveness. And so we're going to start the day in just a few minutes with the touring class, which is what you and I call them the heavies, the big planes. So we've got a little video package to introduce that. Let's go to that right now and learn more about the touring class.
My name is John Douglas. I'm from Pinedale, Wyoming. I fly a 64 model Cessna 182 G model. She's a little ugly, but she's a good airplane. She performs well, and we've had it for a few years. We've got our third or fourth competition. The dust gave us a little bit of problem, but they spaced us out a little bit more, so it gave us more room, and the dust cleared. One of the hardest things is seeing that little white line, because it keeps disappearing. So one time I missed it in practice yesterday just because I thought it was there and it wasn't there. It's like, oh, the line's not there. It's up over there. So I scratched really bad. But we do this for fun. I like competing, and my wife and I, we do the Rocky Mountain STOL in Pinedale, and we come out and promote and have fun. And about 2 years ago, guys came up to me and said, oh, aren't you a pilot? I was like, yeah, I am. Says, then why aren't you competing? It's like, oh, okay, I'll start competing. And it just rolled into this, and it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. And I was really surprised. My last landing on practice days was 119 feet. I've never landed an airplane that short. So we're hoping for a good win today and a good time. And a good time with the crowd. So it's a lot of fun.
Paxton Prentice. This is a 182 from Ephrata. Just trying not to bend some metal. Maybe we get second. Yesterday the practice was windy and dusty. Runway was dust over. I had to go around twice. Couldn't see the other planes, so that was interesting. Cheer me on in Little Guac.
My name's Alan Hewitt. I'm flying this classic old 172. It's a 1957 model. They call it a straight tail. You know, it's docile, it's easy to fly, and it works well. And I guess I'm probably considered the slow Hewitt out of the bunch. Maybe not slow, but, you know, it's underpowered and underperformance, but I have a good time in it. Practice was trying. We had some good strong winds, and every time you lined up to the line, you had dust that was blowing in your face. The wind was strong, but we've got a nice flat area out here, and the winds were coming in pretty regular. So you had a good, if you could use the wind, it was good for you. Today, like I've said before, if I don't come in last, I'm a winner. And if I come in last, I had fun anyhow. So, you know, I'd like to do the best I can, but I'm here to have fun. That's about it. Now, I'd like to thank my wife for joining me this time. She doesn't get to see me fly, and I think it opened her eyes up a little bit about just what I can do with this airplane. So, and I'm glad to have my brother and my nephew here also. It's nice to come to a place and kind of have your own team. So they're a lot of help to me, and I couldn't do it without them.
So that's the lineup for the first heat of Moses Lake here in, guess what, Moses Lake. I guess I got to learn more about this tonight, Corey. They said they've got dragons around here. All of our, you've got a competition shirt on. There's a giant fire-breathing dragon on it, but I have not yet seen any dragons. So that's like a local thing I got to dig into. But we're getting ready to learn more about that with a little fire-breathing touring class action.
Right. I think there's something to do with the Moses Lake itself. Maybe there's a dragon in there, or the shape of it. I don't know. I haven't been told, but we'll swap that out and figure it out for you and tell you all about it later on in the broadcast.
I just heard maybe it's the shape of the lake from the air, and we're going to see it maybe while we compete from our competitive aircraft.
Oh, excellent.
Well, you and I won't. We're just sitting here in the booth, but
yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's get ready to rumble with that touring class. So here's what to watch for. You can see the competitors there getting all geared up, getting their aircraft ready to go. There's that yellow line. So like I said, everything happens on that line. So when we take off, imagine that sandbar. You're taking off at the very end of the sandbar that Corey was describing. You're going to take off from that line. We're going to measure that distance from the line to the wheels. Come back around land, touchdown after the line. You can't touch it. Touchdown after the line, measure the distance from the line to where you stop. That's how it goes. In the touring class, you're going to see John Douglas, and you're going to see Paxton Prentice. And then joining them in this heat from the backcountry class is Alan Hewitt, part of the famed Hewitt family you saw in the opening of the show. Rod is he's feeling confident. He's feeling confident about his performance. We're going to see that a little bit later today in the sport class.
This is such a fun class for me because this is the ultimate bring what you got class. This is the staple of aviation class. You can go to any flight school in America and see these 172s, see these 182s, and a lot of pilots are flying these right now. Come on out to National STOL and learn how to take off and land short. You're going to see some amazingly short takeoffs and landings from these heavy certified aircraft. These are not modified in any way. They're stock certified airplanes. This is the kind of airplane that you go out to your flight school and rent. And these guys are taking off sub 200 feet in this competition in these certified aircraft, Ryan, which is magical and special to me because I grew up flying a Cessna and I never even dreamed of taking off in a couple of 100 feet.
Well, and speaking of dreams, right, I think that's part of what we want to do today, right? We want to inspire you to follow that passion, follow those dreams. And if you do that, like you said, there's a 95% chance that if you decide to train as a pilot, you're going to end up training in a 172 or a 150. We don't have any of those here this weekend. Speaking of 172s, look who is taxiing up to the line right now.
Beautiful straight tail 172. Absolutely fantastic seeing these classic airplanes come out and compete with the more modern cutting-edge aircraft and do quite well.
So in race 453 in the 1957 Cessna 172 from Renton, Washington, everybody, it's Alan Hewitt.
So exciting to see Alan pull up to the line. What a fun family adventure we're going to see today. We're going to see 3 Hewitts compete. So watch Alan today as he's going to set the stage for the rest of the family. Such a fun crew to be a part of National STOL. So if you're out here on the ramp and you see any of these pilots, don't be afraid to approach them and talk to them. These guys love to talk about aviation, especially STOL.
In race 106 in the 1975 Cessna 182 from Ephrata, Washington, everybody, it's Paxton Prentice.
Yes, love to see Paxton and old Lil Guac.
Lil Guac.
Named after the color of the paint on the fuselage. Really impressive takeoffs and landings in his practice rounds yesterday. I'm expecting great things again here today from Paxton.
He told me last night that Lil Guac was the name his youngest sister gave the airplane. I think she's 11 now, so it's just a nice little family connection.
That is adorable. I love it.
In race 307 in the 1964 Cessna 182 from Pinedale, Wyoming, it's John Douglas.
Yeah, home of National STOL's Rocky Mountain STOL event. John Douglas has been a wonderful new entry the last couple of years to STOL, and he's done some amazing. In fact, I believe he broke his own personal record yesterday in practice and landed just over 100-something feet. Fantastic in a 182. It was fantastic, and I expect to see that and some amazing stuff today again from John Douglas. Such a fun crew.
So we've got a green flag from race control. Competition is ready to kick off. We're going to see John Douglas do that 180, pull up to the line. Let's talk a little bit about the weather. Nice winds down the runway. I'm sure the pilots wouldn't mind a little more wind. STOL pilots always want a little more wind over the nose to get those distances shorter. But I also want to take a look. Corey, we had a crazy amount of dust on the runway yesterday.
Yeah, the airport authority told me this morning they put 1,000 gallons of water on it. So this morning it might be a little less dusty than yesterday. And John Douglas putting on a really good takeoff performance to start out the day. The winds are a little bit lighter this morning than they were yesterday, so these takeoffs are going to be a little bit longer. But as the day progresses, as we go through the additional rounds of competition, we do expect the winds to continually and gradually increase. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out today.
Here's Paxton Prentice now in Lil Guac. You'll notice he's got an instructor with him, something he's doing to help keep himself safe. I asked her what she does. She's like, well, I just I work the flaps for him sometimes and give him some advice.
That's fantastic. And, you know, safety always being the primary motivator at National STOL. You know, we do this in a controlled environment on this beautiful, flat, open runway so that we can take these skills and translate those into the backcountry. So we have no problem when a pilot elects to bring an additional safety component, which is his flight instructor.
Here's Paxton on the roll now in Lil Guac, getting some speed, getting that tail down off the ground. I'll give you some updates on the scores here. John Douglas off in 219 feet in a very big airplane, folks. Paxton Prentice, we'll see that score in a minute. And look who's taxiing up to the line now. It's Alan Hewitt in that 1957 beautiful red 172.
Yeah, I really love the classic vertical stabilizer on there. It's the older style. You notice the two earlier aircraft had the more swept tail on there.
And Paxton Prentice just getting this in on the scoreboard, just a few feet shorter than John Douglas. So we've got a bit of a fight in touring class. He had 213 feet. Here's Alan Hewitt giving it the beans.
Nice early rotation. Main gear off the runway. Wow, that was exceptionally short. Somewhere in between 150 and 170 feet. That was fantastic. Alan really puts on a fantastic show with that 172.
So I fly a 172. That's what I spend most of my time in. And I watch Alan, especially yesterday in practice, he was putting some moves on. I have never been able to control my aircraft like that. I got to talk to him tonight and get some pointers. The way he lifts it off real short and then hangs out in ground effect is just masterful.
Yeah, he loves the pillow of ground effect, keeping it within a half a wingspan of the ground so he can feel that air just kind of buoy him up. Now here comes John Douglas on his first landing attempt. Now yesterday he was putting in some ridiculously short landings. Now the challenge here is to get it as close to the ground as possible without touching before the line.
So you'll see him hold it off. Good over the line. Line judge gives that checkered flag. Heavy on the brakes, leaving some ruts. First landing of Moses Lake 2024, making a mark on the runway from John Douglas there.
Now I have to believe that he's going to be happy with that landing somewhere in the neighborhood of about 160-ish feet. So that's a pretty dang good performance considering we don't have a huge amount of wind right now. So he's on the board, and he's got a score. 152 feet is the official length from John Douglas. That is a 182, ladies and gentlemen, landing in 152 feet. Wow.
That's what you mentioned this earlier, Corey, but that's what's so exciting about this class to me is you're seeing airplanes that you don't think about having this kind of performance perform in these ways. Now, a bummer there. Looks like a touchdown for Paxton Prentice quite early. You saw the dust kick up. There's no question that it happened. He's going to still try to get a landing in over the line, kind of plopping it in there. We're not worried about passenger comfort in STOL. Should hopefully get it stopped to help him with the PPI score, but it looks like he's going to roll out. And we've got a live wind update now, 12 knots from 240. So it's starting to blow a little bit, but I think it's forecast to be much higher later today.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened to Paxton there. Maybe a little bit of a mental, maybe he's got some nerves to shake out or something like that. He's touched down about 600 or 700 feet shy of the line. So to me, that's just a complete error. And so he'll have to clean that up for his next attempt. But here comes Alan on his base leg. And now Alan comes in. The most challenging aspect about landing STOL is that approach, especially when you get close to the ground. You're playing with energy management. The goal is to have your energy run out so you don't have any more flight speed right as you achieve the line. And so there's that delicate balance of power, glide path, configuring your aircraft for maximum drag and bringing it in within that, like you see him, bring it in within a half a wingspan of the ground, that ground effect. So now we're using science and all the aerodynamics of the aircraft to bring it in nice and short. Alan Hewitt, no stranger to that here at National STOL. Now let's watch as he brings it into the line. Beautiful airplane, Ryan.
Yeah, really in love with it. Holding it off. Wow. Good over the line. He's going to get heavy on those brakes, digging in again. Notice he's got that yoke full back to help with aerodynamic braking and take a little pressure off the nose wheel. You don't want to damage that in soft field operations. His takeoff was 148 feet. The landing looks to be somewhere around 125 or less.
Absolutely fantastic. Now, how the scoring works here at National STOL is we take the length of the takeoff, and then we take the length of the landing, and we add those two together. And so that is their score. And so it's a concatenated or a combined score. And run number 1 for Alan Hewitt is a ridiculous combined score of 264 feet. That is a fantastic score to start the day.
That is
score.
It's a great way to start it. And here's what's important. Alan Hewitt is running with the touring class. He's actually in the backcountry class. It's a little more competitive that way. In the next heat, you're going to see a triplet of the Cessna 170s. They are kind of the hunter-killers of the backcountry class. And he is putting down numbers that are incredibly competitive against the 170s. If you're Jughead Council, if you're Tegan LaPointe, you're watching what he's doing in that 172, and you might be thinking, oh, I got to work for this. I got to get out in front of him.
Absolutely, and Alan is going to be, he's the sleeper. I mean, we've been talking about the rivalry between John and Tegan all weekend long, but Alan is putting himself in there solidly. Now, here comes John Douglas up to the line. His first run, he put in a combined score. Now, combined score, ladies and gentlemen, of only 371 feet. That is absolutely crazy in a 182.
Full power for John Douglas now. Flaps down. Getting all the lift he can. He's off.
Wow. Holy cow. I think he got it up at about 170-ish so feet. That was fantastic. We'll wait for the official score. But I just can't get over the fact that this is a stock 182 that you can rent at any flight school in America. Fantastic.
Yeah, and that was a huge improvement. His previous takeoff, 219 feet. We'll see what the score comes in as Lil Guac, piloted by Paxton Prentice, pulls up to the line. 163 feet for John Douglas.
Oh, wow. I think he'll be really happy with that score, Ryan. Unbelievable. Putting on a clinic.
Now, Paxton is at a little bit of a disadvantage here, too, because he does have his instructor with him. She is added, he said, oh, it's paid ballast. But here they go now.
All the squirrels doing their job under the cowling there, lifting it up. Beautiful takeoff by Paxton. You can see that extra passenger, that weight in that right seat, definitely he's got a penalty there for sure.
Alan Hewitt up to the line.
It was kind of uncanny to me when Alan introduced himself and he says, I'm in the old straight tail 172. But this thing performs just like the moderns. It is a fantastic performing aircraft, as you're about to see.
Sometimes I think as STOL pilots, there's some people that prefer the older aircraft because they haven't been fattened up with all the modern technology, all the extra bits and bobs. It's just a plane.
Yep, I love it. It's pure, it's clean, it's beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, Alan Hewitt on his takeoff roll.
Touching the tail.
Off the ground. Another fantastic performance from Alan Hewitt today.
And the way that you see those flaps coming up and the way that he's modulating his pitch with the way the flaps are coming up. So as you retract your flaps, folks, you lose some lift. You need to get that nose down to prevent you from sinking, build up some more speed over the wing. And watching him modulate that so smoothly, it's kind of poetry. It's poetry in motion there.
Yeah, he's definitely an artist. He's no stranger to that aircraft either. I'm sure he's got plenty of time, and it'd be fun to talk to him about his experience in the aircraft. Maybe the remote field reporters can get some action on that after he lands. Now here comes John Douglas with his second round landing attempt. His first one was fantastic at 152 feet. Now, I suspect he's going to start pushing it here, so we might see him get a little bit closer to the ground.
And a scratch for John Douglas on that amazing takeoff.
Yeah,
absolutely. Real bummer.
What a disappointment, but he's pushing very hard. He's got one more attempt in this round of competition to make up for that, but he is definitely pushing and is in competition mode.
Paxton Prentice, if you're in the crowd to your right, turning base to final now, lining up on our volcanic ash runway. I don't know if I've ever Has anyone ever said that in STOL comp?
Landing on volcanic ash belched from the center of the earth by Mount St. Helens herself.
Here he is, getting nice and low.
Yeah, Paxton getting it, like I said, in that half wingspan of the ground, taking advantage of the beautiful pillow of aerodynamic ground effect force. Might be a little more conservative on this one because when you scratch, you don't get a score. So now he's going to bring it in a little long just so he can get on the board. Fantastic landing. Very smart choice there by Paxton just to get a score on the board.
Talking to Paxton last night at the pilot's dinner, he said that one of the things he's really been working on is when he's starting to come in, he's trying to figure out where the line is, and he said, I'm working on not adding power and just trusting the lineup, because what will happen is if you add that power, you saw it a little bit here, he started to balloon up, he kind of pulled a little too early, maybe a little bit too much energy, and so that's something he's actively working on. He said he went and did, I think, 13 or 14 landings at the airport where we had the pilot dinner, so he's putting in the work, trying to get it dialed in. Here's Alan Hewitt now, low and to your right.
Dragging it in. You see those big flaps just pushing that air. Now, you'll notice at some point you'll see the ground, you'll see the dust start to kick up. That's how close he is to the ground, and that's how the aircraft is aerodynamically pushing that air to the ground. Here he goes just over the line. A good landing.
And notice how he retracted those flaps so quickly.
Wow.
Could you talk a little bit about what that does, Corey? Because I think that's a technique that's pretty common for you STOL pilots.
Yeah, once you know you've gotten past that line, there's a technique that a lot of us use. We dump the flaps, we put the flaps back up as quickly as we can. What that does is it obviously stalls the wing. We don't want the wing to fly anymore. But another thing that it does is it changes your trajectory so the ground can absorb some of that energy so you don't have to have all the braking action do it. So you're relying on the shock absorption of your landing gear and your tires, and you get the braking action from that. There's just so much science going on. And we've actually gone out and we've had competitions measured in inches between winner and loser. And so it really matters when you get down to the really competitive levels. You get down to the sport class where you get the really competitive guys, and it really gets close.
Just saw a comment in social asking, what is the surface made of? It is volcanic ash from Mount St. Helens. So they carved a runway out for us here at Moses Lake, and once they cleared all the brush out, that was what was underneath. So it is soft. John Jughead Council reported that it was kind of silty, very smooth, but you're definitely not getting the same. Actually, he compared it closer to turf in terms of braking action. Definitely not like a hard surface runway type experience.
Absolutely. John on his third and final round of the competition today. You have 3 opportunities. You take your lowest score, and that's your score. So I expect him to be fairly aggressive on this takeoff. Yes. Beautiful takeoff there from John.
John is going for it. I love watching the tail tie down just penetrate that silt. It's so crazy. Here's Lil Guac now. John, by the way, if you're keeping score, 371 was his best run. Paxton Prentice on the board that last time with a combined score of 522, and John's last takeoff, 166 feet. Woo.
So definitely John the favorite in the touring class for sure. And Paxton's got his work cut out for him here. He's got a chance. He had some really good runs in practice yesterday. So let's see what he can do on his takeoff roll. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Paxton Prentice at the controls of this Cessna 182.
On the roll now, and he's yanking a little bit earlier, but it's a little too soon, waiting to get that flying speed, and he's off. And I wonder if he's thinking, man, having instructors is important from safety, but he's definitely feeling that extra weight probably. Here comes Alan Hewitt coming up to the line. Let's talk a little bit about where he was previously. His best combined score is still his first run, 264 combined, which is bonkers. That's the technical term that we use in the STOL industry for it. His second run, 279 feet combined. And I want to put in perspective, a lot of folks aren't even taking off in a Cessna 172 in less than 279 feet.
Yeah, it's really not a common thing other than in a STOL environment to do this to an airplane. You know, these guys have literally taken everything out. There's no tool bag or tie downs in the cargo compartment. Here's Alan. He's done some fantastic takeoffs today, and there is another one, probably about 145-ish feet. Just a fantastic takeoff from Alan.
If you are here in Moses Lake, that one deserves a round of applause. Alan is killing it. Alan is killing it. You know who else is killing it, Corey, is Ladd Gardner Insurance. We got to talk about them. They're one of the sponsors of National STOL. They've been a long-time partner since the beginning. They've got excellent customer service and coverage. Ladd Gardner Insurance is aviation protected, and we appreciate their support. Here comes John Douglas. Final run for him in the competition in that 182.
Look at that beautiful cloud sky at the end. That's going to be a beautiful backdrop for this afternoon's air show. But look at this beautiful approach by John, being very aggressive. Look at the control input on that elevator. He's working so hard, locking the brakes up. There's the dust.
Nice job,
look at
John.
That landing.
Whoa,
Holy
dude.
cow.
That was incredible. Some elf named Larry on social saying, it's so cool they're in Washington now. I agree. I've never been to Washington State before. Everyone has been so kind. It's been such a wonderful experience the last couple of days getting settled in. So thank you, Washington. And we're looking at the replay right now. It's under review for John Douglas, and I believe I'm waiting for the official call from race control. Yes, the call stands. It was close. It was super close, but the call stands. Let's watch it again. Man, breaking.
Fantastic.
So dramatic.
139 feet for that landing. Holy cow, that was really short from John Douglas. That will put him in a solid position for first place in the touring class. And here's Paxton Prentice for his final attempt.
Heard him cut the throttle a little bit sooner that time, and look at him just locking him up, digging those troughs.
Beautiful job from Paxton Prentice, bringing it in, dropping it like it's little guac.
Holy guacamole. He's going to be happy with that one.
Yeah, he's been continuously improving. He's still a newcomer to the sport, even though he's not competing in the rookie class. And he is improving by leaps and bounds. Fantastic. Thanks for coming, Paxton. And on the right, low and slow, here comes Alan Hewitt.
Alan, of course, trying to put in some really solid scores to protect himself from the 170s.
Yeah, he's actually competing against the aircraft that are going to come in the next round. And so it's a little bit difficult to visualize, but he is competing. What?
Oh, what did we just see? Woo! What did we just see?
Wow, ladies
That
and gentlemen,
was
I think we
insane.
just saw a 172 do a sub 100-foot landing.
Might have.
I cannot believe that. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for that performance from Alan Hewitt.
He's so humble. He's like, I'm just here to have fun. But then he also said, yeah, maybe my wife is realizing what I can do with this airplane now. 83 feet for Alan Hewitt.
Holy cow, that puts his official score at 216 feet. Throwing down the gauntlet for John Jughead Council and Tegan LaPointe. They're coming up next in the 170s. Absolutely insane performance from Alan Hewitt, putting him in solid contention for the backcountry class round.
Now, we've got a triplet of Hewitts here. We have Rod Hewitt, his dad, Stephen, and Alan, his uncle. They're all here. And now I'm kind of hoping for a little 1-2-3 hat trick, each of them taking their class. I love Jughead and Tegan, and I love everyone, but it would be great if the Hewitts just swept it. That'd be a fun story.
Yeah, you know, Moses Lake is quickly becoming Hewitt Town.
Hewitt Town. We got to talk about another one of our sponsors before we kick over to the next class. I want to talk about Legend Aircraft. The Legend Cub continues to be the most coveted American manufactured sport aircraft. It's a modern take on the spirit and design of the legendary Piper J3, PA11, PA18 Super Cubs. It's combining the best from the past with an obtainable wish list of modern enhancements. That's American Legend Aircraft Company, Legend Aircraft. You see them a lot of times flying the MWH.
The mother of all Cubs. Now, here's the results of the first round of competition. Now, in the touring class, Ryan, we had 3 airplanes compete in that round, but only 2 are in the touring class. So we've got John Douglas taking first place with a combined score. His best takeoff, 163 feet in a 182, ladies and gentlemen. His best landing, 139 feet. That's shorter than my house. He could land in my yard.
I mean, you think about what that does for your confidence and your proficiency as a pilot, right? To know that if you were to have an issue, that you could put it down that short.
You could put it down in a Walmart parking lot.
You could put it
easily
down on top of a Walmart. Just look out for the air conditioners.
Fantastic.
We are going to be right back from here in Moses Lake, everyone. We are just gearing up with all the STOL action. More coming right after this.
It's a kind of a different experience buying a Legend Cub because you're buying from the owners of the company. You're going to meet everybody that's going to work with you ahead of time. They're experts at every little facet of it. You pretty much can do as much of the aircraft as you're capable, and they'll kind of hold your hand through the rest of it. So I couldn't recommend it higher than truly a wonderful experience. You show up and you watch how all the fuselages are all TIG welded, and their processes are second to none. They build by far the nicest airplane, lightest componentry, great styling. Ron, their painter, is spectacular. It's not like any other buying experience. You are truly buying into a family. A lot of longtime employees. I'm friends with a lot of the guys that helped build my airplane. Legend Cub owners typically buy an airplane and never sell that airplane. You won't find very many of them used for sale on the market. I think you get a slightly different owner with a Legend Cub. It's not just an airplane to them. It's a piece of art. It's a piece of them. It's custom designed and built for them. Any option you want is available. Hard to get much better than this.
Well, good afternoon, National STOL. John Jughead Council here with 97 Bravo, my 55 Cessna 170. And hey, I'm one of the many Moses Lake locals here, so it's great to be back at the airport that my dad soloed at, I soloed at, my brother soloed at. So it's a cool coming home, and it's such a neat history here at the old Larson Air Force Base, now Grant County International Airport. It's Moses Lake, so what does that mean? That means May 18th, 1980, we had the most volcanic ash land here in Moses Lake from anywhere when Mount St. Helens erupted. We had 3 to 3.5 inches of the most fine, silky volcanic ash on the ground. And what you're seeing out there today is we still have undisturbed earth that has that layer of ash in it, and so this really fine white dust you see coming up behind the airplanes as we're taking off and landing, yep, that's a little geological history right there with Mount St. Helens going, I'm still here. On landing, it has given us some really nice braking action. You can get on the brakes really hard. These 31-inch Alaska bush wheels, I'm landing with my brakes on. I'm actually trying to just skid the tires throughout the landing roll. So really good braking action with the wind on the nose right now, 15 knots. I was seeing takeoff somewhere in the 125 to 135 foot range, and I had at least 2, if not 3, sub 100 foot landings. That's right, Tegan, sub 100 feet. Tegan right over here is my number 2 competitor, also flying a beautiful 170. Betty Page over there. She was a red airplane before she started flying here in the ash cloud today, but being in the last in the lineup, Betty Page is now completely ash and brown. You can get out here, you can talk to somebody like myself that's competed for years across the country, and we'll give you all the tips and help we can, except maybe if it's Tegan. Too much rivalry going on right there, right, girl? And but the rookies are out here having fun. We've got 182s, 172s, experimentals. It's got a great thing. And of course, wonderful support out of Millionaire with the fuel support out here and everybody at National STOL. It's great to see our good friend Corey Robin back out having some fun in aviation. He showed up, surprised everybody here today, and Ryan's doing a great job on the mic. Thanks to all the men and women behind the scenes, like our great cameramen and support crews or line judges. Jughead's out.
Hi, my name is Tegan LaPointe. I'm flying Beige Betty here. It's my Cessna 170. She's a little bit bigger than John Council's as far as the engines. 210 horsepower, fuel injected. It's got all the standard off-airport stuff, Horton STOL, VGs, big tires, all of that. So yeah, we're out here. We had practice yesterday. It was super windy and gusty, but looking forward to today. Should be a good day to go out and fly and compete against John. At the end of the day, you know, there's always that friendly competition out there, but you know, I want to be able to take this thing home. I use it a lot for, you know, camping, going off airport, just, you know, a lot of fun. So it's really, I mean, it's the same thing here. If we take home, you know, first or second place, that's just bonus in the cap. You know, this isn't just for guys out there. Anybody can go out and fly. My girlfriend flies this airplane too. I help teach her how to fly it. And just don't let anybody tell you you can't. You know, you're no different. You're just as capable as everybody else. Hell, maybe you're even better. You know, get out there, start flying, and show them what you can do.
All right, Ryan, that was a great piece. Now, one thing that I noticed in that is they're talking a lot about each other, but Alan wasn't part of the conversation. Right. But I guarantee after that performance this morning, he is now solidly in and a part of that conversation.
Absolutely. So here's the lineup for your backcountry class. Alan Hewitt, we saw him compete from Renton, Washington. You're going to see in this heat John Jughead Council in the 170 Bravo. Tegan LaPointe, she's going to be in the Cessna 170 as well. And guess what? Another 170 piloted by Lance Hosch. So it's the 170 battle. We got Alan kind of dropping the gauntlet just before it. And speaking of Lance, look at that beautiful blue 170. The 170 kind of a favorite, right, of the STOL community if you're digging Cessnas.
Yeah, it really is. It's a staple in the backcountry for many years now, and there's been a group that is so passionate about this aircraft that they call themselves the 170 Mafia, and we love that about them. They're almost like a motorcycle club about how venomous they are about how awesome their airplane is. But I gotta tell you, they back it up with the performance because these aircraft are some of the most capable aircraft in the backcountry.
Everyone in race 973 in the 1948 Cessna 170 Alpha model from Moses Lake, Washington, it's Lance Hosch.
Yes, all three of the pilots in this class are your hometown heroes. Wave to them as they taxi by. They're looking at you.
Now in race 194 in the 1953 Cessna 170 from Gig Harbor, it's Tegan LaPointe. Give her a round of applause.
So much fun for Tegan to join us at National STOL. She is really proving to be a competitor, which is really fun to see. You know, everybody coming out, bringing their aircraft and having a great time. But what's even better is what happens after the show. John and Tegan yesterday went out and landed some beautiful backcountry. They're not even airstrips, they're just in the wild. Did some cliff jumping over on a mountain just north of here, just a lot of fun.
Yeah, there was a lot of conversation about that cliff jumping, and Jughead kept going, safely. We did it safely. So.
It's a fun thing to do. You know what? That's what it's all about.
Speaking of John Jughead Council, in race 115 in the 1955 Cessna 170 Bravo from Moses Lake, everyone give it up for John Jughead Council. Now, Jughead has such a career in aviation. Former Air Force pilot, F-15 pilot. He was talking to me about how they used to do their debriefs in F-15s after missions last night. Also, a big name in the air show industry for a long time as an air show announcer. So I was kind of picking his brain about that last night. And now flying airliners and doing STOL stuff. he has done a lot of modifications to this plane, and I think partly for competition, but also takes his dog out hunting in the backcountry with this aircraft. So really using it for what it was designed for.
You know, the funny thing about John and people like him is they've literally lit their hair on fire, gone, full afterburners and F-15s, done just about everything you can do at that extreme, but they end up here. And I asked John last night, I said, John, why are you flying STOL? And he says, because it's the most fun flying I have ever done. He takes this airplane in the backcountry with his dog Dakota. He uses it for everything from hunting to camping to fishing and everything else. John Council.
He's off. He's off and running. Sub 175. It looked to me, if I can armchair quarterback the American hero fighter pilot for a second, looked like he pulled a little early.
I think so too. I wasn't going to mention it. It's the first round.
I wasn't going to mention it.
It is the first round. But here's Tegan. Now, she is known to be very aggressive. She's got her program and her process nailed down. You'll watch the flaps come down early because she doesn't want to be bothered with it. So she takes it down almost all the notches, then one final notch for the rotation. Fantastic takeoff there from Tegan. I think she edged out John.
Yeah, it looks like it might have just been a few feet shorter. Tegan does have more power than Jughead. That's something he's been talking about all weekend. She's got more power than he does. So what he did is he put bigger tires to get more angle of attack. I like this little back and forth, and I think the aircraft parts companies are liking it too.
Yeah, and here's Lance. Now Lance has a beautiful, this is the same exact aircraft, slightly configured slightly differently. You notice everybody has maybe different tire size, or maybe somebody has VGs and somebody else doesn't, or there's STOL kits you can install on the leading edge, or the wing tips, all sorts of different things, little modifications you can make. These are such fantastic aircraft that if you're out there in the wild, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw this one landing on your favorite grass airstrip.
Still working to get her off there. That's a longer takeoff for Lance. Jughead was very clear. He wanted me to point out that what you're seeing is a bone stock 170 that Lance is flying. So that's exactly how it came out from the factory. You've got that competed against John and Tegan's more modified aircraft. You can modify a certificated aircraft through a process called STCs, and a standard type certificate.
Yep.
Something like that. Did I do that all right?
And that's really what I was trying to go, is that he was a more stock aircraft, versus John and Tegan have done those modifications for, Tegan in the case of horsepower and vortex generators and things like that to do stall prevention, help you go a little bit slower and faster at the same time, which is kind of fun. Now here's John. He's in energy management mode. Ooh, beautiful.
And a scratch for John Council on the first run. That would have been a nice one to drop the gauntlet. He had a takeoff score of 169 feet, and that will get thrown away. And he'll have to do it again on takeoff number 2.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker for John. He needs to get on the board, but this leaves the window open for Tegan. So she has an opportunity here now to put a score on the board and see what happens. I mean, we still got Alan Hewitt there with a ridiculously short combined score of 216 feet that's already there.
Here's Tegan now, base to final, coming around the bend. Little bit of ash in the sky, but nothing like we saw yesterday. And this is where John claims to have the advantage, is in the landings compared to Tegan, but let's see what she does. Holding it off, a little burst of power, holding it off.
Nice.
Good over the line for Tegan. Has that yoke fullback elevator straight up to help keep that tail down. Wow. She stopped sub 150.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Great performance by Tegan LaPointe, putting in a fantastic landing there on the board now. Still going to be really tough to touch Alan's short score there. We're gonna really have to see them really clean that up today. Here we go for Lance on his final approach.
First takeoff for Lance was 281 feet, so that's well back from the crowd that he's competing against, but he has 2 more runs after this. So getting it dialed in, and the other thing is that, right now, if Lance doesn't scratch, he will technically be ahead of John Council because they'll have a score on the board. Good over the line for Lance.
Beautiful landing. Nice and soft. That's kind of what you want to do on a soft field. Sub 200 feet. Pretty awesome for a stock 170. Now, this is a certified airplane again. This is an airplane that you can't do a lot of modifications to, and he really has it. This is a bone stock 170 Bravo, or Alpha model.
Alpha model. So an earlier one than what the other competitors have. People are handing us donuts in the booth. I don't know what I did to deserve that, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So let's talk about the rest of the season coming up, Corey. We've got more STOL action. It's going to be back to back to back. In just a few weeks, at the end of June, we're going to be on the complete other side of the country at Appalachian Mountain STOL in Pennsylvania. And then one of my favorites, because it's the airport I learned to fly at Hartford, Wisconsin, we're going to be at Sodbusters. That's the weekend just before the big air show in Oshkosh. So if you're coming to Oshkosh, come a couple days early, hang out with us. It's a huge party. One of the most beautiful grass strips you'll ever fly in. Again, maybe a little biased because I learned to fly there in J3 Cubs. But yeah, such a great thing. And then also, be sure in August to check out Rocky Mountain STOL in Pinedale, Wyoming. You saw John Douglas flying in the touring class. That's his event. He and his wife put that on. They've been bribing everyone to come with packaged meat sticks. Here's John Council now on the roll, tail up, tail down, and he is off short, Corey.
Absolutely fantastic takeoff from John Council there, probably in the area of about 115, 120 feet. Fantastic takeoff there.
So his previous takeoff was 169 feet, so big improvement there once we see the score update. Tegan now, she's on the line a little bit to the left, maybe grabbing a little bit of crosswind on the nose. Getting that power up. There she goes.
All right. Beautiful. Oh. Wow, that was right about where John took off. A big improvement from her first takeoff.
I gotta wonder if she was waiting for a gust. It felt like she was timing it based on the flags.
Yeah, I did. I was watching the line judge out there, and she wasn't cleared. She did take off right when he cleared her. I think that they were waiting for spacing there, but maybe. Or maybe she just got lucky.
Maybe she just got lucky.
That's the conditions.
Lance now on the line, 1948. Vintage aircraft. This is certainly the oldest aircraft of this class, but maybe the oldest aircraft of the competition this weekend. And Tegan LaPointe with a 100-foot takeoff that round. Wow. Here's Lance now. Got that tail nice and high.
Very aggressive. Reminds me of our good friend Jeff Pohl, who we need to come out this year, throw down some numbers.
Yeah, Jeff Pohl and Dirty Bird, a bit of a legend in this class. Did a lot of modifications to his aircraft last year, and I think he's just dialing it in, tuning it up, getting ready to go. John Council now turning base to final. Love the look of those big fat tires hanging down below the airplane. You see he's got those flaps down. Those are the inboard controls that you can kind of see break up the shape of the wing. Those add lift and drag to the aircraft, which makes sense. If you want to land short, you want a little bit of that.
Absolutely. He's got a high approach profile here. He'll bring that down to, like I said earlier, within a half wingspan to the ground as he works on his energy management. Now watch as he approaches here. Now pay special attention to the elevator. That's the rear of the aircraft, the horizontal control. Now look how hard he's working. That elevator is definitely moving. Between that and the power and the rudder, perfect landing from John Council.
And look how short we just got from Jughead. You big round of applause for that one. He made it look so easy.
Wow, and that right there is definitely a sub 100-foot landing, putting him in good solid contention with that good takeoff of only 114 feet to potentially overtake Alan Hewitt, which put on an absolute clinic. And Ryan.
Oh, Alan.
We have the numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, 202 feet combined. Jughead Council just takes the lead in the backcountry class.
Pushing Alan down into second with 2:16. I think he literally was just walked in front of the booth and was wondering what was up. Yeah, here he is. What's going on, sir?
He's got more wind.
Oh, Ellen says he thinks John has a little more wind on the nose.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Now here comes Tegan. Now she really has to put on a great landing here. Had a fantastic takeoff of only 100 feet. So if she puts this down, this could be trouble for John Council. And she looks like to be set up for a perfect one here.
Good over the line, that tail nice and low. Heavy on the brakes, Tegan, hold it.
A little bit longer than John's, but her takeoff was also 14 feet shorter. So I'm really excited to see these numbers come in. This is close.
It's time to do some math. This is why spreadsheets are great. We're just waiting. We're just waiting to see as Lance comes around the bend. 108, so wow. 208 for Tegan. So we have a fight on our hands between John Council and Tegan LaPointe. That moves Alan down into third place. He's in front of the booth here, absolutely incredulous.
We have an absolute crazy situation here. We have a 6-foot spread between first and second place here right now as Lance comes in for his landing. Beautiful approach, greased it in.
Line judge isn't sure. It's going to have to go to review, saying maybe a scratch. We'll have to go back to see. One thing that you noticed is that Lance's tail wheel touched down before the line, and that is okay. We only measure from the main wheels. In the case of these aircraft that you see right now, those are the wheels in the front of the airplane. And we've actually had competitors in some more high-performance aircraft just drag that tail for maybe 50 feet, a long time. It's okay as long as the mains touch down after the line.
Yeah, we have just an amazing close competition here in the backcountry class. 216 feet right now. In third place is Alan Hewitt. And in second place right now, Tegan LaPointe with a 208 feet. Now these are combined scores. This is both takeoff and landing, with John Jughead Council in the lead with an absolutely spectacular 202-foot takeoff and landing combined score.
That is a really small number. It's a real, I mean, how long is the runway here? That was made for strategic bombers. It's like a 10, 15,000 foot runway?
I mean, it was the backup for the space shuttle.
And after review, race control just got in our ear and said that Lance's landing was actually deemed a scratch. So he's going to lose. That was a pretty good score for Lance. Pushed down a little bit further from the crowd with that first run of 479. Here's John Council.
So to put it into perspective, to explain the scratch, now imagine that runway is a sandbar in the wild, and Lance just set down in the water. Well, that's not desirable, because before the line is the water, after the line is the sandbar that you want to hit. We don't want to land short in the wild. And so that's why we have that element in competition. But you got to measure from the line.
You got to have a line to measure from, yeah.
And Lance had a great landing there of only 149 feet, so he'll clean that up on this third round. Jughead Council putting on an absolute clinic of consistency with 165 feet there. Watch as we launch Tegan into the sky. So much fun. Here we go, getting up on the power.
Can it beat 100 feet? Was her best takeoff so far on the second round.
All right, now Lance has put together a combined score of 479 feet. You really can improve on that with this takeoff. Let's watch this beautiful 1948 Cessna 170. Get it, Lance.
Getting that tail up. He's doing a really good job of taking a big bite.
Yeah, that was a fantastic one once again. Sub 200-foot takeoff for Lance. An excellent performance. And a stock 170.
Now, as John comes around base to final here, I just want to point out that part of what's really exciting about this class is we have, I think it's all Washington State competitors, and that's part of this expanded footprint that National STOL has. We'd love to, if you're a pilot considering this, get out, join us. A few things you need to consider. One is a helmet requirement. All our pilots are required to have helmets now. A lot of safety being brought in. Here's John now coming in, holding it off with throttle. Oh, with a scratch, but that's okay. He's got a good lead. And Tegan's last takeoff was a bit longer, so I think John may be able to hold the line.
Yep, John pushing there. He knew he was in the lead, had a good solid, he's got a 6-foot separation, which might as well be a mile right now, because Tegan had a little bit longer takeoff on that last one of 157 feet. So for Tegan to take the lead right now, we really need magic.
Magic and some physics.
Magic and some space dust from Mount St. Helens.
So we were talking about helmets and safety and all that stuff, and as Tegan comes on her base leg here, flighthelmets.com, that's a way that you could meet the helmet requirement. They are one of our sponsors. We have one here in the booth. I don't know if we can show very quickly. Look at that. That's like, you could like be all fighter pilot-y. Go to flighthelmet.com. We've got a sponsor code that you can use if you want to buy a flight helmet. NSTOL 50, National STOL 50, NSTOL 50. $50 off a helmet like this. Be rad. I put it on sometimes just to feel cool. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, it's a nice helmet. I tried it on last season, and very, very comfortable. All right, Tegan, bringing it in, dragging it in with a little power. Look at how much control inputs being required on that elevator control. Fantastic landing. Really working.
Getting it stopped, keeping that yoke back to keep the tail down while she modulates the brakes.
Now I'm starting to see the conditions ripen a little bit. You saw how hard Tegan had to work there as she was just hammering that elevator. You saw many, many control inputs, or you heard them on the throttle. It just took everything to bring that airplane down nice and short. Very challenging conditions as that wind begins to blow across the runway. Got a little bit of a right crosswind now, which is definitely going to play an impact in these landings and takeoffs.
Here's Lance on short final. Take off that round 174. What will he add to it? Good over the line this time.
Fantastic landing, sub 200 feet. Amazing landing there from Lance. Look at all that beautiful Moses Lake dust.
Yeah, so this is what I was talking to John Jughead Council last night at the pilot dinner, and he was like, hey, I hear you're putting some water down to try to help out with the runway. And I was like, yeah, that's what they're going to do. 1,000 gallons, it's a lot of water. He's like, it's going to work for like 2 classes. And look, we've broken it all the hard pack down, and we've got a ton of dust again coming at us. So let's look at the scores. Woo! All right, in 4th place, Lance Hosch, combined score of 479. Way up in front of him, Alan Hewitt, 216. A handful of feet ahead of Alan. Tegan LaPointe, she's got 208. And John Jughead Council with a best run. It's going to be heartbreak for Tegan with a best run of 202 feet.
The amazing thing about that 1st and 2nd place performance is 6-foot separation.
Woo.
That is so close for 2 fairly different aircraft, obviously very different pilots. Fantastic performance. I bet they're both very happy with that, but this could be the start of a new rivalry here in the state of Washington. 2 hometown favorites putting on an absolute STOL clinic here at National STOL Moses Lake.
So we've got some view from the pits here. Tegan pushing her plane back after competition, getting ready to go there. Not sure if she knows the final scores yet, but all smiles. Oh, I think I saw a fat lip. She's like, oh no. Anyway, so that is the backcountry class. Before we go to break, I want to talk about something else real quick. We got to talk about Flying Eyes, another one of our sponsors. You and I are both sporting them. You got the shades. I've got the prescription glasses.
Savers.
But I do have this kind of a cool thing. I don't know if this makes me cool or old, but they are awesome in the cockpit. Check this out. Oh, man, magical Magical. It's magnets. How do they even work? Look at that.
You know, what I love about Flying Eyes is not only are the sunglasses awesome, they love and support aviation.
Absolutely.
They are engaged. You'll see aviators with the little Flying Eyes logo on there. Support good aviation companies like Flying Eyes. We actually have a promo code we can give you.
Absolutely, yeah. Promo code is National STOL, 10% off your Flying Eyes. Funny, I did not actually remember to do that when I bought mine. I just paid full price, so you're welcome, Flying Eyes. But anyway, check them out.
Thank you.
I believe we're about to go to another break before we kick off more STOL action. What an exciting backcountry class, Corey. That means 6 feet. 6 whole feet separating first and second place. And what? Someone math it, a handful of feet into third. So it's really
literally good. Between first and third place, we're looking at 202 versus 216 feet.
Yeah.
That is just absolutely fantastic flying.
That's super tight.
It's 2 vastly different airplanes. You got a straight tail 172 with a nose wheel, and you got a Cessna 170 Bravo, highly modified, big tires, Fiji, STOL kits, everything you could possibly put on there. Absolutely fantastic performance by all of our pilots here this morning.
So we're going to do one more thing. We got some other people to thank here. We've got to thank our local sponsors here in Washington that help make this possible. We've got Moses Lake EAA Chapter 355 and the Washington Pilots Association Moses Lake Chapter. Thank you to them. Automated Ag, Columbia Technology Solutions, Jackson Flight Center, and Basin Pacific Insurance. Thank you so much to all the people that helped bring National STOL to you locally. We appreciate you so much. We appreciate all the volunteers, and we appreciate you at home and here at Moses Lake, Washington. We're going to take a quick break and be back with some more STOL action right after this.
Sarasota was created actually back in the 70s, but we and Bert and Vince, my 2 partners, they've sold their business to Ryan and Sean, which is my 2 other partners now. We started around in 1999, 2000, just had one little spot in this hangar, and we've built it up from there. So we've been here for 23 years now. So, and then we have 5 facilities now here in the state of Florida. First starts in Tampa, Sarasota. Venice here is our main headquarters, and we have Punta Gorda and then Fort Lauderdale, Lantana. Then we have partners in Brazil, South Africa, Greece, Tullahoma, Tennessee, all over the world. We're the largest Garmin dealer in the world. So that's probably what we've been known for. So we do more installs on aircraft, general aviation, anything really under 10,000 pounds than anybody else in the world. So, and we've been that for quite a few years now.
Well, a friend of mine, actually it was Corey Robin, told me about these Flying Eyes glasses. Well, we were at Oshkosh, we went and checked them out, and they're awesome. But what I really like is the glasses themselves. They're very light. The earpieces are real thin and flexible, so you don't even know you have them on under a headset. If I put my headset on, I mean, they're just as comfortable as could be, and they're so thin, I can actually take them on and off without removing my headset. I couldn't do that with my other glasses. And then the other really cool thing about these, they make some awesome sunglasses, but they have these cool sunglass lenses that just snap on. So now instead of having to carry a big extra glass case in my pocket, that's all I got to carry to take my sunglasses with me. So there's several things about them that I'm really, really liking. Flying Eyes, awesome glasses.
At Aerolids, we believe that innovation is equal parts inspiration and perspiration. Since our inception in 2006, we embarked on a mission to redefine the expectations of aerospace lighting. Entering the aerospace lighting market, which had remained largely unchanged for 50 years and in drastic need of a new product with fresh look and unequaled performance, Aeroleds was inspired to redefine the expectations, which resulted in a series of innovative designs. Hungry for new ideas, backed by a company that valued the patronage, customers quickly adopted the new standard of quality, design, and performance never seen before in the industry. Over the past 12 years, Aeroled's installation, ranging from the experimental and 23 markets up to the space and military applications, with over 15 tactical military platforms featuring products in both overt and covert operations. Aeroleds continues to lead the industry in design, reliability, and unsurpassed performance. Unique in its presence and unmatched in its perseverance, Aeroleds serves the aviation market from one spectrum to the next. From U to U2, Aeroleds is redefining the expectations.
Hi, my name is Mike Council. I'm flying a 1946 PA-12. Was rebuilt in 1999 by Charlie Flight Systems. Has a 0360 running 31-inch bush wheels, baby bush tire. This is my first time out here as a rookie, so I'm just out here to have fun and not have an insurance claim. This is home. Born and raised here in Moses Lake, and my brother's flying down here in 97 Bravo. So yeah.
My name's Chad Forster. I fly a 1961 Cessna 172, 180 horse Avcon conversion, constant speed prop, Horton STOL cuff. Other than that, she's pretty stock. She's just plain Jane 172. She's small tires. She's a good airplane. I like her. Originally from Royal City, but I live here in Moses Lake. I got married. I got 3 kids, and I'm a commercial pilot. It's actually not mine, it's my grandpa's. So thanks, Grandpa.
Well, my name is Steve Hewitt. I got 2 Alaskan natives in my family. My
Pretty
son,
much his greatest accomplishment, by the way.
Well, you gotta say that. And a daughter. And then
Nobody cares about her, though.
yeah, but she's beautiful.
Nobody cares
Within
about
a week.
this. Tell them how you're going to dominate.
No.
The Hewitts are going to dominate.
Well, yeah, my son. Well, I have nothing to lose. If I win, I win. And if he beats me, I still win.
And I can't lose, because I'm the new frontman of National STOL. You're welcome, America.
It's all good. It's a lot of fun. It's great fun. And push yourself a little bit, try to fly on the edge, try to fly smoothly and accurately. And I do love winning. It doesn't look bumpy, but what, 50-foot takeoffs or less? All right, thanks a lot.
So we are back here in Moses Lake, Washington at the Moses Lake Airshow, and the crowd is filling in. We've got very special people in front of our booth that look like they're in the VIP section with some umbrellas and some other things, so they're going to have a great time. Let's look at the lineup for our next class. It's the rookie class, which I believe, Corey, is your favorite class.
You know, it is. And the reason for this is where all the newcomers come out and play. This is where they're cutting their teeth for their very first time. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are all first-time pilots. Let's send them all of our energy. And so as they taxi by, I want you waving, I want you screaming, I want you hollering, because these are beginners. They might have a little bit of nerves. This is so exciting. We've got Shad Forrester in a 172. We got a Rans S7. You'll see that thing take off shorter than you ever thought possible. And a 1946 PA-12, which is the traveling version of the Super Cub, the comfy version.
Well,
absolutely fun.
You called it the Chub Cub, and I was talking to Mike Council about it, and he was like, I think I kind of like that. And I was like, whew, okay, that could have gone either way. So that's right. Shad Forrester to 172, Mike Council in the PA-12 Chub Cub, and Stephen Hewitt in the Rans S7. Yesterday, during practice, Stephen had we'll talk about this a little bit later. He had a little bit of a sporty thing, but here he is in race 137 in the 2000 Rans S7 from Auburn, Washington. Everybody give it up to Stephen Hewitt flying past you on the ground there. He doesn't taxi like a rookie.
No, you know, and he's competing in the rookie class. He does such a fantastic job in that aircraft. You're going to see some amazing performances. Now, that aircraft that you saw just taxi by, you're going to actually see 2 different pilots compete today in that same aircraft. Stephen, the father, and the son later on in the sport class. it's kind of a family rivalry, which is kind of fun to see. So as you watch that all shake out today, we'll call it like we see it. I don't know who it's going to be. Is it Steve or is it Hot Rod Hewitt?
Hot Rod. He's going to like that. He's pointing at himself right now. I'm the winner. All right, in race 783 in the 1946 PA-12 from Moses Lake, it's Mike Council.
Beautiful aircraft. Again, one of my favorites to see in the backcountry. You know, the pilots that I typically see flying these are the more chill and relaxed pilots because they have so much elbow room. It's a little bit wider cockpit than the Super Cub. So comfortable, but very capable. And I'm looking forward to seeing Mike Council ring it out today here in Moses Lake.
And last but certainly not least in the rookie class, in race 103 in the Cessna 172 from Royal City, it's Shad Forrester.
This is going to be fun to see this 172 for the very first time come out and compete. Shad Forrester having such a good time flying his airplane. Welcome to the circuit, Shad. Good to have you for Pop. Going to make a performance today.
One of the owners of National STOL, Tom Wolf, has some experience on the mic with air traffic control, and he said, I would hate that end number because you expect it to be longer.
Right.
And you're going to be like, hey, give me your full end number. And then they'd be like, it is 4444 Papa. We're getting ready for rookie class here as Shad Forrester taxis up to the line. So there went Shad Forrester in the Cessna 172, and a really respectable first takeoff for the rookie here. Did well in practice, put a lot of practice in as well. And now Mike Council taxiing up to the line in that PA-12. He's from Moses Lake, so definitely deserves a little bit of cheering from you here, the local crowd. That last takeoff by Shad, by the way, 170 feet.
172 putting out a pretty good, respectable number. That is 170 feet in a stock certified airplane. Fantastic. Here's Mike Council in a backcountry staple. Look at those big cartoon tires on there. How fun is that? Here he goes, tails up.
And off the ground short. Mike Council. So we got Shad Forrester with a 170-foot takeoff and a 172. That's 2 feet shorter than the model number. That's kind of fun. Mike Council, we'll see what that number is. But watch for Stephen Hewitt now in the Rands S7. 140-foot takeoff for Mike Council. Stephen Hewitt, I think, is going to
surprise you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not watching, take a look at this aircraft on the flight line right now because I think it might surprise you. This is Stephen Hewitt. This is a 2000 Rands S7, very lightweight, very capable aircraft. He's waiting for the safety official to give him the go-ahead, but I suspect that you'll love what you're about to see in this aircraft. Whoa! Ladies and gentlemen, that was definitely a short one. I didn't even think he made it to the 75-foot marker.
I was going to guess somewhere around 50 feet. There is a little bit of parallax for us here in the booth, but somewhere around 50 is what I was going to guess. I don't know if it's fair to call Steven a rookie with a takeoff distance of 46 feet. I don't know if that is really fair. If I'm Mike and Shad, I'm filing a complaint with the National STOL organization saying you got to push that guy into his actual class.
That was a fantastic takeoff, though. Really short, coming in at under 50 feet. His official score, 46 feet. That is a fixed-wing airplane taking off in less than the length of a helicopter rotor.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. We got to come up with more ways to talk about how short this is. Here's Shad Forrester, race 103, coming in. First landing of the rookie class.
Your staple of general aviation, bringing it to STOL. Beautiful landing from Shad Forrester, absolutely showing that he is here to compete in that beautiful 172.
That was really nice. That was really nice, very graceful and heavy on the brakes.
Fantastic landing there from Shad, and
looks like it's getting reviewed by race control right now. Let's go back to the replay. It must have been pretty close. Call stands. So it was good landing for Shad Forrester.
Oh, he'll be happy with that. His landing coming in at only 150 feet. That is a really good score in a 172. I think Shad will be very happy with that one. Now high into the right as he makes his final approach in the PA-12. Mike Council, your hometown hero. One of the things I like to look at as they're making their approach is how hard these pilots are looking. So pay attention to the rear of the aircraft, that horizontal stabilizer. Let's see how much work he's putting in to keep that thing off the ground.
Good over the line. And only on one wheel for a while there, actually.
Yeah, it looked like he might have caught some interesting winds
like
from the right there.
Windy action there. So good there. And by the way, if you're wondering, we measure from the first wheel to touchdown. And we also, if you come to a stop in a little bit of a weird angle, we measure from the wheel that is furthest from the line. Speaking of weird angles, Stephen Hewitt did have a little bit of a weird angle yesterday. Caught a gust on one of the wings. Other wing did just do a little tippy tap.
I just wanted to see what that Mount St. Helens dust was all about.
What does this feel like, the wing was wondering. So it did a little tippy tap. Everything was checked out and fine. No damage there. Probably because we were competing on...
You know, I wonder if Steven was one of those kids that ate dirt as a kid and he was just trying to relive his youth.
That one is probably already all over social, but he did a great job controlling it. Look how slow he's coming in. Corey and I have a lot of time to talk when an S7 is flying. Holding it off there, he's floating it in right on the edge of where the wing will stop flying.
These aircraft are super light. Very, wow, no. Just short of the line. That'll be a scratch for him, even though that was a fantastically short landing. So that bodes well for him on a future round, but unfortunately, that means he will not be able to put a score up on the board on that round.
Watching the replay here in the booth, frame by frame. And probably looks like 2 feet short of the line there.
That was so
for Stephen Hewitt. Now there is a strong rivalry, and I would say a healthy one, between him and his son. His son beat him yesterday in practice by only 1 foot. And so if I'm Rod Hewitt, I'm like, all right, Dad, thanks. Making it a little easier for me. Got a scratch on the board, but...
Well, let's just go ahead and tell the audience how short that landing was, even though it was a scratch. And let's add 2 feet to it, since he landed 2 feet shy of the line. So his official score was 23 feet after the line, so his landing was literally 25 feet long. So he's really in a strong contention there in that Rans S7.
Well, to kind of put that in perspective here in Moses Lake, this is one of the hay capitals of the world. Yesterday, my brother was more worried about putting up $300,000 of Timothy hay running 4 bailers and getting a circle done, so today he could relax and concentrate on flying. Those bales that we're making, 1,500 pounds apiece, put 3 in a row, and they're longer than that landing by that Ran 7 right there.
That voice you're hearing, by the way, is John Jughead Council, who took the last class. Rooting for his brother there. Here's Shad Forrester on the roll and off short. I looked over at the screen. I wasn't expecting to see him airborne already. Nursing those flaps off, making sure that they come up into the wing and he doesn't sink back down, and good off into the sky. Here's Mike taxiing up in the dust. And it looks like the crowd here, Moses Lake, is getting a little bit of the Mount St. Helens treatment as well, thanks to the aircraft stirring up all the dust.
All right, Mike Council putting in a great takeoff on his first round at only 140 feet. He's looking to improve upon that here. Thinking back to Shad's last takeoff, only 117 feet in a Cessna 172. Wow, that's a crazy short takeoff.
That is a huge improvement for him as well. Here goes Mike. Yanking
Beautiful
it back.
Takeoff.
Textbook.
Such a capable aircraft, and you know, these guys are out there just having fun. This is what it's all about, having fun with your aircraft. As we bring Stephen Hewitt to the line, his last takeoff was absolutely ridiculous, almost like the earth was just repelling him from it. 46 feet.
46 feet. I mean, that is like unlimited class competitive numbers, right? So
really.
we have, at some events in nationals, we have an unlimited class where people like Hal Stockman, Steve Henry are putting down. Well, I've one time saw Steve Henry take off in 6 feet in Somerton, Arizona. So like these are insane numbers, but a lot of times you're in that 46, 50 foot range in the unlimited class. Here goes Stephen Hewitt holding the tail off, full power. Oh, another sub 50 foot takeoff. That deserves a round of applause, a hoot, a holler, whatever you do here in Washington.
Holy cow. I don't even think he made it to the 50-foot marker. I think he was well shy of that. Unbelievably short.
It's just a camera view of me and Corey staring at the screen. We're so curious.
What's the score?
What is it?
I'm
Type
dying
it
to
in.
know.
41 feet for
wow.
Stephen Hewitt.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a 41-foot takeoff roll. Most of these aircraft on the ramp have bigger wings than that. You can do You can do 2 takeoff and landings on just that C-47 over there.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a big cargo plane behind us. You could probably take off inside of it.
Unbelievably fantastic performance. How much fun is it to watch these airplanes? It's almost like watching cartoons. I almost don't believe that it's possible to take off in 41 feet in an airplane that has fixed wings.
That is true. We're doing a lot of helicopter impressions. I saw Chinook here today. I wonder if those pilots are watching and going, hey, that's my job. Here's Chad on short final. Nose up a little bit in the sky there. Kind of perfectly down.
That was absolutely a clinic in energy management. That was a fantastic landing from Shad Forrester. Ridiculously short. Now, let's look at his takeoff roll was only 117 feet. That landing roll was definitely in that neighborhood as well. So his combined score is even going to be better than his first one at only 320 feet. Holy cow, that landing, ladies and gentlemen, 125 feet from Shad Forrester. Absolute barn burner. Combined score of 242 feet. That's just crazy in a 172.
That is absolutely crazy. He's currently first place in the rookie class. Now, the elephant in the room is Steven just needs to get on the board, but we've seen competitors of his caliber scratch 3 times in a row. It has happened in National STOL, so still kind of anyone's game for now.
Yeah, and here comes Mike Council in one of the most backcountry capable and comfortable airplanes that you'll ever be able to fly. Beautiful Piper PA-12. His first landing was 216 feet. We'll see what he can do here to improve upon that. Beautiful landing. It looks like he will improve upon it. Sub 200. Good job right there from Mike Council. So with his takeoff coming in at 145 feet, he's going to put a pretty respectable score on the board.
Gonna have a little fight between Shad and Mike, and they're just gonna hope that Steven continues to error on his landings. And here comes Steven now, coming around base to final in the S7.
The lightest aircraft at Moses Lake today at STOL. You'll see him really taking advantage of this headwind on the landing, setting up. One of the things that you might be interested to watch is how he uses his flap technique on the landing. A lot of the guys will use the flaps to force a stall as soon as they're sure that they've made it past the line.
Whoa! And down and stopped. It is not about passenger comfort. the more energy you can get into the ground is the less you're going to move forward. Let's see what that number, if nothing else, it was entertaining.
Yeah, fantastic. A little bit long, yeah, a little too much energy coming over the line. So there's definitely a window for his son to improve upon that score. But 59-foot official score for that landing, putting in a combined score of only 100 feet for Alan Hewitt. Fantastic, or excuse me, Stephen Hewitt. Fantastic performance right there in the Rans S7.
So that's the best score that Stephen put down yesterday in practice. He's matched it. Heartbreak on that first run with the scratch, because again, that would have been well below that with the 25-foot, let's call it, landing. But still has a third round and a healthy amount of wind on the nose.
And that's really good. So now everybody's got a score on the board. All the rookies have clocked in, so to speak. Right now, as it stands, Stephen Hewitt in that Rans S7 is in the lead with that 100-foot score. And then in second, this man right here, Shad Forrester, absolutely, as a rookie, putting on a clinic on how to fly a 172 here with fantastically short takeoffs. His last one coming in at only 117 feet. That's going to be a tough number to beat. Let's watch as Shad is cleared into the skies.
Shad is definitely able to put down some competitive scores in his normal class. I hope he moves there next. He's on the roll, tail down, and off the ground. Best takeoff for Shad Forrester so far, 117.
All right, well, we have a minute, and Mike is pulling up his airplane. We actually have two cars that are parked in a improper parking lot, and you will be towed. We've got a white Chrysler. Listen, people, you don't want your car towed. A white Chrysler Colorado plate, AIC U83. Move your vehicle or it will be towed. There's another one. It's a Ram pickup truck from Alaska, license plate Lima Lima 334. Move your vehicle, brother. You're going to get towed.
We're always doing public service here in the booth. Here goes Mike Council in the Chuck Tub. Ready to go. Tail down. He's in the sky already. Really doing a great job there in the sky. Your hometown boy from Moses Lake. And Stephen Hewitt getting a little bit of a dusting back there, waiting to see if he can improve on that 59-foot landing. His takeoffs have been pretty consistent.
Wow, Mike put in a great takeoff there, improving on his first two, putting it out a 120-foot takeoff score on that last one. Beautiful job from Mike Council.
Rans S7, by the way, one of the more attainable and approachable bush planes that you can find. They're easy to modify, they're easy to build, and they're actually quite affordable in terms of aircraft, like on a relative scale, cost of aircraft. You see these a lot on the market right now, used for like $80,000. That's the performance per dollar is insane, and that was insane too. Oh my God! What was that?
I think we just saw a new eruption in Moses Lake.
We got Alan Hewitt is like, what? And then Jughead's like, what? Everyone's super pumped about that.
22 feet, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it. Round of applause for Stephen Hewitt.
Yeehaw, what?
Jughead just came up and he says, yeehaw, what? Yeehaw, the name of Steve Henry's plane.
A little bit of trash talking against the guys who didn't come to Moses
where are
Lake.
you guys? So I was not expecting that. I was waxing poetic about the approachability of the aircraft, ways to get into aviation. And one of the other ways you can get in, and I want to encourage everyone to do this, go to nationalstol.com, click the chat button, and join us in eSTOL, which is a way that you could be flying digitally in Flight Simulator to get practice in, and someday come join us in the real world like Shad is right now in the rookie class. Oh,
a little bit short there.
I was about to say good over the line, but instead I said goo because it was not good. A scratch finally for Shad. And that maybe is okay. If he was going to scratch on one, scratch on that one, because that was his longest takeoff of the heat.
Yeah, pushing it a little bit hard. He knew he had a little bit longer takeoff on that one, so I don't mind it at all, putting a little bit of stank on it and scratching. You know, that's competition. When you try hard, you fail hard. And that was fantastic performance. He still put in some crazy short numbers. At 242 feet is his best score today. That is absolutely barn-burning in a 172. I challenge anybody to come out here and compete against Shad Forrester in your 172.
Yeah, you don't need a Rans S7 doing 22-foot takeoffs. You can come and just have fun and learn and get proficient. Here is Mike Council.
Your hometown hero.
Real quick, while Steven's coming in, it's a great way to get involved, another way into aviation. Come do the sim stuff. If you're going to be in Vegas next weekend, Flight Sim Expo, check National STOL and eSTOL out. We're going to be in this USATrailersDirect.com trailer. It's making the trip to Vegas right after this. And you can come say hi to the crew. They're going to be broadcasting a virtual STOL event. Great way to get involved. Here is Stephen Hewitt now with the 22-foot takeoff.
He actually has the capability here to do something very special, which is put together a fantastically short takeoff and landing combination in under 50 feet potentially.
That was insane. I don't believe, how can he be in the rookie class?
I think he's going to be kicked straight out at the award ceremony.
Well, here's the thing. Once you win rookie class, you cannot be a rookie anymore. So this is the only time he can pull these shenanigans. But
that was fantastic. Waiting for the official score.
34-foot landing, combined score. What's his son going to do with this? Combined score of 56 feet. 56 feet combined in the rookie class, folks. That was insane. Let's look at the scores now. Mike Council in the Chub Cub, Piper PA-12, 333 feet. I can't even talk. I'm so excited. 333 feet combined. Shad Forrester in the 172, 242 feet. And this hasn't been updated all the way. Stephen Hewitt with a best combined score of 56 feet. There it is in the spreadsheet. That was your rookie class at Moses Lake.
I don't know how that's a rookie class because
I don't know. All of the scores were so short.
It was every single pilot in that class was performing to the capabilities of the aircraft, and I am super pleased. They're on the ground. Let's give them a round of applause, our rookies.
That was amazing. We are getting ready to have more STOL action here, but I got to talk about another one of our sponsors this year. It's a new one for National STOL, Red Tag Art. It's art built out of Red Tag aircraft parts. They have everything from bottle openers to valve covers to turbine coffee tables, everything in between. Check them out at redtagart.com. We thank them so much for their support. There's other folks we got to talk about that have helped bring this to you on a national level. So we've got a lot of people to thank. We're going to talk about some sponsors in a minute, but first we should talk about the volunteers. National STOL is brought and created completely by volunteers, almost completely. It takes a village to put on a STOL competition like this. Every single one of those flags, every single one of those markers, the line, all of that stuff has to be done. So a big thank you to our volunteers that help us do this, and a big thank you to our annual sponsors, Ladd Gardner Aviation Insurance, Legend Aircraft, USA Trailers Direct, Sarasota Avionics and Maintenance, FlightHelmet.com, Flying Eyes, Lift Aviation, Aero LEDs, Red Tag Art, Legendary Aviation Coffee Company, and I Fly EFB. Thank you so much to all of them for helping us bring this show to you here in Moses Lake. You can see the USA Trailers Direct and us, I think, somewhere. We're there. Hello. You can see us on camera. Oh, well, now they're close to us. We are going to go to commercial. We'll be right back with more STOL action here at the home of the Dragon, Moses Lake, Washington.
We've had it in all of our airplanes. Ever since we started with the Piper Saratoga in the early 2000s. We did the pulse oximeter and CO detector in there. We've upgraded to there. Now we have a Cessna 340 that I actually was talking to him in Germany last year, and he was like, oh, you got to put the cabin altitude thing in the plane. I said, well, send it to me. So we put it in there, and it actually is really nice. This aircraft flies above 18,000, 10,000 feet, so up to 23,000 feet. The other day, the cabin altitude light comes on the manufacturer's panel, and boom, the CO Guardian comes on and says, all right, you're above 10,000, your cabin altitude is above 10,000 feet. So watch out. So it's kind of nice to have that redundancy in the plane. So for a pressurized aircraft, that is so important for me. I get that oxygen mask ready, make sure my oxygen is good.
What's up, Av Geeks and STOL Freaks, everyone? My name's Ryan Dabrowski. Below me on your screen, the legend himself, Burstix TV, in Jennings, Louisiana for Swap STOL, E-STOL today. And now we are ready for our second ever, if I'm not mistaken, E-STOL event. And Tom Smith. Here's Mark now, getting that tail down, he's up. Smith now, whoa, with a little bit of a problem. Big bounce for Byron there. Check out this great shot of the race course here from this Robinson flying over as we get ready for our unlimited class.
It's on Microsoft Flight Sim over on flightsim.to. The Rans S6S.
Coming in hot.
Nice landing, soft and dainty.
It's crazy. Like, I'm doing the math of that. I'm going, oh man, how much did that cost? But maybe we'll save that. We'll save that for another time.
That's goals right there. That is goals. If we all had that flight simulator set up, I think we'd spend even less time, in the real world. And I don't know. Maybe I'll stay away from the VR. That's why I'm scared of it. I don't want to get VR and then not come out of my room for a couple days.
Hi, my name's Rod Hewitt from Auburn, Washington. I'm the new front man of STOL. Yesterday went great. Very windy, very gusty. Was still able to get the shortest landing. Beat my old man by a foot. He happens to be the world's greatest CFI double I. He's got all the ranges in the world. I'm coming here and I'm coming to take over. I'm the new champion of STOL competitions, and I'm here to stay. Where's your enthusiasm? I say hi to my beautiful wife, Kelsey Hewitt. She's our team manager. She happens to be the most gorgeous pilot ever invented, and I'm so proud of her. And I just love you, honey, so much. And next year she'll be out here. She weighs a whopping 105, 110, so with her in this thing, she'll be unstoppable. Steve Henry won't be able to touch her. Neither will that snowflake from Canada who flies that cheating, juiced up, I don't even know what you call that. Whatever that souped up ultralight thing is, it's just cheating. Not a fan of that thing. Anyways, a little disappointed that Steve Henry and the snowflake from Canada got a little scared because he found out the Hewitt boys were going to be here. Can't wait to go head-to-head against those guys. Woo! Who's the new front man of STOL? This guy, Rod Hewitt. Here to bring the enthusiasm. Where's the enthusiasm, America? We're flying airplanes in the greatest country in the world. National STOL. Woo!
Oh, how much fun is Rod? We're going to call him Hot Rod Hewitt, the face of STOL.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen that guy's abs? They're great. He's got great abs. He's a great abs, great ab man. We are getting ready to kick off 2 classes in 1 here for you in Moses Lake. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, if you're just joining us at home, my name's Ryan Dabrowski. I'm joined with Corey Robin, and we are going to bring the adventure class and the sport class to you next. In the adventure class, you'll have Mike Babcock in a Rans S21 and Jeff Daly in a brand new 2023 Badlands Traveler. And then in the sport class, John Smith in the Just Aircraft Super STOL and Rod Hewitt, apparently the new frontman of STOL, in the Rans S7.
The self-proclaimed frontman of STOL. I believe that some of the other guys, like Dan, like Steve, very much a hot rod. Okay.
So everyone give a big round of applause in race 211 in the 2000 Rans S7 from Auburn, Washington. It's Rod Hewitt. Of course, that aircraft you just saw his dad fly quite competitively. So Rod, that aircraft, you see the logo on the side there, flying the Angry Kitten. And I think this morning during breakfast, I'm convinced that he's going to put a speaker system that'll allow it to aggressively meow.
That is just a Hewitt thing to do.
Yeah, where's your enthusiasm? Got some other aircraft taxiing up here.
Ooh, the Super STOL. This is an awesome airplane. This is my friend John Smith in the Bush class, or actually, excuse me, he's in a sport class. He's competing in a brand new Just Aircraft Super STOL. He's just off a trip from Alaska. Had a great time with his family up in Alaska in this aircraft. Beautiful airplane.
So in race 321 in the 2024 Just Aircraft Super STOL, from Loosedale, Mississippi, it's John Smith. Met John and his 2 daughters at the pilot dinner last night. His daughters are both CFIs, which is amazing. And if you look very closely at that nose art of the mountain, you can see them at it. There's 2 girls walking up the mountain with their dog. A little homage to his family, and such a great time hanging out with them last night and getting to meet them. Really inspiring family. Seems like they're having a lot of fun adventuring around in the world. Now, this is one to watch out for taxiing up here, folks. In race 247, and the 2023 Badlands Traveler from Arthur, Nebraska. Everyone give it up for Jeff Daly.
This is a crazy fun airplane to watch. Designed by my friend Clint Busenich in Hot Springs, Nebraska. Just a beautiful, actually South Dakota. All those states
in the middle
run together for me. They're all beautiful and wonderful. But this is a fun airplane to see fly. A very distinctive design. Looks almost like a Super Cub. Performs absolutely almost like a Rans. Just a fantastically light, great design, fun airplane.
In race 468 in the 2022 Rans S21 from Lakeside, Oregon, it's Mike Babcock. Mike actually walked up and handed me a sheet of paper. It says S21 Notables. It's powered by a UL 520 IS, which is naturally aspirated, making 185 horsepower. And they've got a Badlands leading edge STOL cuff on it, Acme Aero shocks. And he says, you can see the spinner isn't painted, just put a new prop on 4 days ago, trying to improve the takeoff thrust, but I'm still dialing it in. So we're going to see how that dialing it in goes for Mike Babcock. We have a green flag as he taxis up to the line.
Yeah, I was talking to Mike over breakfast this morning. He's really kind of new to this aircraft configuration. He's really trying to figure out how to get this aircraft to perform just the way he wants it. So we'll expect to see some really good improvements from him in each round of competition today. But look at that beautiful cloud of volcanic ash as Mike gets it on the coals. A beautiful takeoff roll right about 100 feet there. Good job.
So remember, we are watching two classes compete at the same time here. So that's Mike Babcock in the adventure class. And Jeff Daly, I asked him what he was planning to do today, and I don't know if he was totally joking. He said, I'm going for a world record. Every time, going for a world record. We saw him first fly this plane at Arklahoma STOL just a few weeks ago, and he lost the competition with a absolute heartbreaking scratch. And I went up to him and I said, Jeff, I'm so sorry about the scratch. He said, I'm not. Now everyone knows what I'm capable of. And I was like, oh, that's the way to be, buddy. So we're going to watch some great flying by Jeff Daly here in this brand new Badlands Traveler. Tail high.
Oh, wow.
So that looks like it might be sub 50 feet.
That was absolutely shocking. We're talking about a large airplane here. This is not a Rans. This is a much bigger airplane. Wow, what a performance there by Jeff Daly, throwing down the gauntlet, making it hard for everybody else. That's how to do it at National STOL.
I mean, here's what you're going to see, right? Jeff Daly just threw down a sport class-esque takeoff number. 40. What is happening? 43 feet for Jeff Daly in the Badlands Traveler.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Look at that beautiful Super STOL. John Smith at the controls, very capable pilot. He's been known to teach people all sorts of things in backcountry airplanes, from military contractors to civilians alike. John Smith in the Super Duper STOL, judging by the length of that takeoff. Fantastic takeoff from John Smith there. He'll be quite happy with that one. His aircraft is equipped for the backcountry. If you have an opportunity to go walk around some of these backcountry airplanes, that one is about as backcountry as you get. I can just imagine throwing all the camping gear in the back of that.
Yeah.
Maybe a significant other and going and landing in the wild somewhere and enjoying Mother Nature as it was intended.
And that's, I think, what he was doing, the family version of that with his daughters up in Alaska. Yeah,
absolutely.
Like taking the tour. Here's Rod Hewitt now. You know he wants to go fighting against his dad. Same airplane. Full throttle. And he's what is happening? Corey, I literally at a loss for words. These are insane numbers. And you got to think, there's a lot of folks in the National STOL season that chose not to come because maybe it's too far or they had another event to be at. They're going to be kind of regretting that they weren't here to put down some great numbers and get some points on the board for this season. Jeff Daly in particular, this one could be a deciding factor for him.
And that's one thing that's really unique and cool about National STOL is it is a series, and there are series points that you can earn throughout all the different stops on the tour. And here we've got a beautiful aircraft on final approach. Whoa! This is the time where you're working really, really hard in that RANS S21. Mike Babcock really working hard to keep that thing under control.
Whoa! Okay, got it down and controlled. That was a sporty one.
Wow, great job by Mike Babcock there. That is an example of right on the edge, the weather doing its part to make that as exciting as possible. Not necessarily what we want to see every time, but he got it over the line safely.
That was on the replay.
That was gnarly.
That was gnarly.
That was
That
gnarly.
is the way to talk
Let's just
about
call it the way we see it. That was gnarly. Now let's watch the Badlands Traveler, really light wing loading. I'm excited to see his takeoff was shocking at 43 feet. I am just hopeful because I have not yet seen Jeff compete in person. I've only seen him on the internet, so it's really a treat for me to see him come out and bring that Badlands Traveler. Fantastic aircraft. This is just a personification of the dreams of backcountry pilots building their own airplane, a unique design from start to finish. Beautiful airplane.
And he built it all winter, like just sprinting, building, working to get this airplane ready to go. And he's proud of it, and you can see why. It's beautiful.
Look at how slow that airplane is going. Ladies and gentlemen, you are seeing something special here in Moses Lake, Washington with the Badlands Traveler.
Holding it off, good over the line, and so slow already. We might have just seen a 50-foot landing in the adventure class.
That was absolutely spectacular. I'm just looking at that airplane, and it's a large airplane. It looks about the size of a Super Cub, and I got to tell you, I haven't seen very many Super Cubs fly that light. It just looks like it's a kite.
We have a 96-foot combined run by Jeff Daly in the Badlands Traveler. That was a 53-foot landing. Now there's the Highlander coming in, the Just Aircraft Super STOL. Look at that high approach by John Smith. Really controlled coming in.
Absolutely beautiful airplane. Wow. Absolute fantastic landing there. It doesn't get much better than that. I just absolutely love watching these guys come in, bring it all out, hang it all out on the line. John Smith putting on a clinic there in that Super STOL aircraft. A great takeoff coming in at 73 feet. I think his landing might be about the same length.
66 feet for a combined score of 139. Now let's put that in perspective. Rod Hewitt had a 39-foot takeoff.
That is unbelievably short. Now here's Rod. It looks like he's going a little bit fast, so he'll put on the brakes here. You'll see that aircraft slow way, way down as Rod is no stranger to controlling. Look at that.
Good over the line. That was insane.
Oh, my goodness.
Folks, here in Moses Lake, you are seeing a special treat this Saturday. We have performance on performance on performance. You are seeing some of the best bush flying I've seen all season.
You know, that was a little bit odd to me because it looked like he had a little bit of extra energy, but Rod is such a master at the controls of that RANS S7 that he just put that main landing gear on the ground, dumped the flaps, got on the brakes, and put on a great landing performance there at only 37 feet. with a combined score of only 76 feet, ladies and gentlemen. That is Rod Hewitt.
Now let's talk, though, about his dad. His dad had a combined score of 56 feet. So 56 feet for Stephen Hewitt, and Rod Hewitt coming in on the first run with 76 feet. So we are it's still anyone's game between father and son there, but it is we are seeing some short landings. And never mind, in the adventure class, a 96-foot combined takeoff and landing by Jeff Daly. This is, I said it before, I will say it again, unlimited class numbers.
Yeah,
any of these folks should be in the unlimited class. It is incredible.
Yeah, this is a very special round of competition here. In fact, they all have been like mind-numbingly fantastic. This is just people flying and having absolute joy with their airplanes.
Yeah,
and that's what I love about this.
Everyone is having an absolute blast. As the aircraft taxi back, we got to say thank you to a couple people here. We've got sponsors who offer prize considerations to these pilots. So they're not just competing for glory, although I'd say for the Hewitts, glory might be enough. But we've got a lot of people that are working to help the pilots be incentivized to put on these shows for you. Lift Aviation, they make helmets and shoes, everything like that. Aero LEDs, who make, you guessed it, LEDs. Sarasota Avionics, providing Garmin products for our pilots that win. iFly EFB has that great EFB platform that's on all the apps. Here is Mike Babcock blowing some dust and off, sub 75.
Nice.
Maybe 76 feet.
You know, that Rans S21 is much more of a performer than I thought it was going to be, with its unique construction having an all-metal wing. That's a different design, with a lot of these aircraft having a fabric wing. So that's a surprising one to me. I'm amazed. I'm absolutely enthusiastically thrilled about the performance of the Rans S21.
And it's interesting because that airplane's also quite fast for a Bush plane, and Mike Babcock's been working to slow it back down.
Yeah, no doubt. It's just a great, capable airplane, fantastic design. Good to have it as a staple, a new staple in the backcountry relatively. Now here's Jeff Daly and the brand new Badlands Traveler.
Whoa! Okay. All right. That's a thing that you could do. That was...
Yeah, you know, if you want to take your kids on a leisurely cruise and take off in a paltry 40 feet on a sandbar,
yeah, I guess
just take a Badlands Traveler with Jeff Daly at the controls. 28 feet, Ryan! 28 feet!
28 feet, folks. That, if you see Jeff Daly today, you got to give him a high five. High five, Jeff Daly. That's what we're doing today. Here. Okay.
No matter what happens, this is a special performance at National STOL Moses Lake. Fantastic. We've got some amazing short takeoffs and landings. This is the most fun that you can absolutely have with an airplane.
That 28 feet, by the way, is the second shortest takeoff of the day, only to Stephen Hewitt, who had, was it 22 feet?
Wow, that is just absolutely fantastic. John Smith at the controls of the Super STOL. Let's see what he can do. Whoa, another super short takeoff. I can't believe it, Ryan. It's just one after another. These bush planes punishing the volcanic ash, repelling it, and taking to the sky.
Speaking of taking to the skies, Corey, here comes Rod Hewitt.
The grudge match is on. Now, this is the second opportunity for Rod. He's fallen a little bit short of his expectations here. I'm just going to play this up. Dad is currently winning.
Yep, 56 feet combined for Dad. Best so far for Rod, 76 feet.
All right, he's cleared into the track. Let's watch Rod Hewitt in the Rans S7. Oh, man, the anticipation is growing. Here comes the throttle. Tail up. Whoa!
What?
I don't know if he made it to 20 feet.
That was really short, and I'm thinking about all the Instagram clips of this, and it's just going to be me making weird noises as airplanes take off. That was That was crazy. We are in shock here in the booth.
I gotta
That was
tell ya.
bonkers. Okay, let's see what the number is. We're waiting for it to come in. 24 feet, folks. 24-foot takeoff. If I'm that Chinook pilot over there, I'm wondering, really, what am I doing with my life? You don't need a Chinook. You just need one of these.
No, it's so much fun. And that is why some of the special forces are actually using bush planes now on missions. And
Wait, can you say that? Is that a secret?
No, it's not a secret.
Okay, I didn't know if that was a secret.
No, it's not a secret.
Here's Mike Babcock.
Mike Babcock in the beautiful blue and black and crazy big bush tires. Beautiful landing. Love to see it. Sub 100 foot by sure. Sub 80 foot. Beautiful landing. Mike Babcock putting on a show today. His takeoff coming in at 76 feet. He's going to be happy with this landing score. It's going to definitely be an improvement upon his first score of 195 feet combined.
Well, and remember, we had that, quote, gnarly landing, and I want to give props to Mike for not getting in his head about that, not letting the nerves hit him, and putting in a real stable, controlled landing. Sometimes you can't control what Mother Nature gives you on your final approach, and you just have to rely on your piloting. But what happens to a lot of pilots, I know it's happened to me in my training, is that you have a rough one or one that's maybe not as pretty as you'd like, and it can get in your head about it. So props to Mike Babcock for getting that still solid on the second approach. Here's Jeff Daly just riding the wind.
Yeah, the wind is coming up. The complexity factor is increasing, but also with the increased winds, it's shortening those landings. So let's see if Jeff Daly can master the elements and the machine here and get it across the line. Oh, my gosh!
No way! No way. That was so short.
How did the airplane not stall going that slow? With a 28-foot takeoff and about the same for a landing, he's putting on an absolute show. We're going back to the instant replay to make sure that we can count that landing because that was so close. Way over
now
the
here's
line.
The thing. If you're Jeff Daly and you put down that number, having given up that many feet past the line, he's got even more in him. A little more accuracy is going to be even shorter.
His combined score, ladies and gentlemen, 62 feet for Jeff Daly. That landing was 34 feet, and I think he landed 2-3 feet beyond the line, so he can even clean that up again in this next round. Wow.
Okay, John Smith hovering against the clouds there in the Super STOL.
Ladies and gentlemen, to your right, take a look at that beautiful yellow aircraft with the landing lights blinking away.
Gotta love a good wig-wag. Just a good wig-wag aero LED action.
It's a wig-wag kind of day here at Moses Lake.
Yeah. Man, I'm feeling really good. This has been a really good morning.
It has been so much fun. Steve Smith, one of my, I just met him this weekend. He's quickly become one of my favorite competitors because he's just such a great pilot and a family man and the whole story behind everything and the adventure. Love to see it. Oh, absolute. Whoa, little challenge there.
All right, a little bit of balloon, got it under control. I think it kept him from scratching.
Huge gust. That was a huge, huge gust right there at the end.
I mean, watching our flags right now, the winds are definitely picking up here at Moses Lake.
Yeah, these numbers are absolutely ridiculous. And now we have the beautiful, is that the Rans?
That's the Angry Kitten coming in.
Here we go. Rod Hewitt at the controls of the Rams. Now, this is a lightweight aircraft, so he's going to have a little bit of a pilot challenge getting it past the line. Look at all the dust, that volcanic ash belched from the center of the earth from Mount St. Helens. Here he comes, low and slow, just like we do it in the backcountry. It's Rod Hewitt. Oh my gosh, he's working so hard. Look at those control surfaces. The rudder is whacking back and forth. That elevator's working. Oh!
Down and stopped.
Ooh, I see a blue flag, though, unfortunately, so that's going to be a heartbreaker for that Super. That was ridiculously short.
The right main did touch down about 1.5 feet before the line. So heartbreak for Rod, who honestly, he's got the class in the bag. I think John Smith could surprise us in the next round, but he wants to really, I think it's about him wanting to beat his dad.
Now, Ryan, if he had landed 1 foot longer, I think he would have taken his dad.
He would
on
have.
That landing.
He would have.
Unbelievably tight competition here, shaking it all out. So much fun to watch these guys ride that lightning out there. The wind's just playing a major impact. You can see the wing walker holding the wing down. It's a lightweight aircraft. This wind is definitely enough to make that aircraft fly.
And Rod not doing the wing walker any favors. He could taxi a little bit slower.
We gotta take him a Red Bull or something. He is moving.
All right, here comes the rest of the pack. I missed one when we talked about folks that offer prize considerations to our pilots. And the last one, but certainly not least because they helped me out this morning, get ready for the day, is the legendary Aviation Coffee Company. We really appreciate them, their help. They're the official coffee of National STOL. We have coffee every morning for the pilots and the crew provided by them, as well as prize considerations for the pilots. And they really are quite good with their, I would say, descriptive underwriting language. And if you want to hear it, go to Jeff Daly's Instagram, because I did a little performance of it this morning, and you can go find Jeff Daly's Instagram and find it on there. Speaking of Jeff Daly, what a story, right? You spend all winter building this plane. You got your friends helping you wrench on it. You're getting it all ready to go.
He's got to be happy with it. I mean, his
it's
combined
incredible.
score of only 62 feet, I could only dream of doing that in my Carbon Cub. I mean, I think I've done takeoffs and landing that long, but I don't think I've ever done a combined score that long. So that Badlands Traveler I think that's going to be one of the big-time competitors in National STOL, and we're going to definitely see a lot more of those airplanes on the circuit, for sure.
What is exciting to me about it is the innovation. All the innovation that happens in National STOL. You even see it in the 170s, Tegan and John Council, right? Like putting all the various STCs on their planes to make the planes fly slower, better, faster, stronger. But on the experimental side, just incredible. Here's Mike Babcock. His plane's heavily modified, and it's in the sky already.
Fantastic takeoff for Mike there. He's been putting on very consistent scores. His first takeoff, 101 feet. He improved upon that one on his second one at 76 feet. And now on this third one, as soon as we get a score, I think he's probably right in between those. It looked a little bit longer than takeoff number 2. We'll see. 84 feet, so I called it right.
Yeah,
right
well
in between
done.
them. Here's Jeff Daly in the beautiful black Badlands Traveler.
So combined score of 62 feet so far for Jeff Daly. He's within striking distance of taking grand champion.
Oh my
He
gosh,
could unseat Stephen Hewitt.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be amazing? This is quickly becoming my favorite aircraft on the circuit. I just love seeing this new innovation from nose cone to tail, brand new design.
No way!
Oh my gosh.
The wheels barely turned. No way. No way. What is physics? What is even physics? What is science?
We just saw it just now.
No,
right
I know,
there.
but I don't understand. It broke my brain, Corey. My brain is broken.
I know, when you've got an airplane that weighs nearly 1,000 pounds putting in crazy numbers like this, I think he was sub 30 feet for sure. I think we're going to come in 15 feet, ladies and gentlemen, in the Badlands Traveler. Holy cannoli. Moses Lake is on fire.
Oh, the Dragon. Maybe the name of the plane should be the Dragon after the performance he's putting on today. 15 feet.
I cannot believe that in such a large airplane. I'm used to seeing it on the Unlimiteds in the small, the 700-pound airplanes, but this is a big airplane. This is design personified. I got to go talk to Clint. He's the designer.
Got to talk to him.
What did he do? I'm sorry. I can't get over it.
Through with John Smith, and like a hunter in the fog, Rod Hewitt with the dust behind him, taxing up to the line. So here's the thing. Rod's best takeoff so far was the last run. He had a scratch on it. Was 24 feet. Jeff Daly with the best takeoff of the day.
And, you know, I got to talk a little bit about Steve Smith, who just took off. He has got one of the most beautiful airplanes on the circuit. That Super STOL is absolutely immaculate. If you're out on the ramp, take an opportunity to go visit the STOL pits, the STOL corral where all these bush planes are at. Talk to the pilots. They're out there right now, the ones that have already flown. They're on the ground, and they'd love to talk to you about bringing you into the family of STOL. Now here's Rod. He's been cleared hot. Look at that flag just on the other side of him, just bending over in the wind. This is going to prove well for Rod. He's got much more favorable conditions than his dad, so there's really no excuse, and he's not needing any.
Leaping off. It's now a fight between Jeff, Steven, and Rod to take the whole competition.
That was just unbelievable. This is just one crazy, amazing takeoff after another. And Rod Hewitt's official score, 26 feet. I think he'll be happy with that one.
So not his shortest, but within striking distance of it for sure. There's still room for him to at least unseat his dad. I don't even know what Jeff Daly's going to do on this landing, though. I'm like almost nervous. Here comes Mike Babcock in the S21. We've seen a huge improvement in his scores. Getting a little squirrely.
Yeah, a lot of challenge out there. The winds are gusting. Beautiful, beautiful controls. That's an exceptional demonstration of controlling an aircraft right on the low edge of the performance envelope. So it's really good to see Mike Babcock get out there with that beautiful Rans S21 and get after it. So that was a great landing for him. He'll be very happy with that. Now here comes the beautiful Badlands Traveler, high and to the right. He's coming in hot. He'll slow it way down to the point where you see this airplane almost come to a complete stop, suspended in the air. Absolutely amazing.
Base to final, into the wind now.
I'm excited about this one.
Just going to hover it there.
Just watching him come in, it's just almost like watching something surreal. That airplane is just going so slow through the beautiful air show sky. Lots of dust on the ground. You can see those cartoon-sized giant tires that are really designed for him to roll over big rocks. They're very soft. Feel free to go and touch them. They only run about 3.5 or 4 PSI, so they can roll over rocks like a marshmallow.
Oh my, what is happening?
Holy cow.
Holding it off, holding it off. He said he wanted I don't even know what happened. He said he wanted a world record, and that we could see that from Jeff this season. We could see that. 15-foot takeoff.
This might be the most special performance at National STOL that I've seen. This is like sleeper cell. Jeff Daly coming out of nowhere. I don't even know if he rolled on that landing.
That was insane. 16 feet. 16 feet. A combined score of 31 feet for Jeff Daly. What is that? I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry about it. That was
There's
insane.
not even much to say. He's already said it all.
He said at Oklahoma, he had just gotten the plane out. He was just flying the plane. He said, watch what I am capable of. They will know what I am capable of. And he came to Moses Lake, and he's showing everyone what he's capable of.
You know, I had a little exchange last week from the designer of that airplane, and we didn't really talk about the airplane very much because I like to let him maintain his privacy. And here's John Smith in the Super STOL. Let's watch him come in. Unbelievably short and slow.
He's getting the benefit of those winds, too. Look at that, sub 50 feet maybe 50 feet on the nose.
Beautiful landing there. But going back to the Badlands Traveler, I was talking to the designer of that wing, and he's He's really excited about the future, is what I'm going to say there, but I cannot wait to see more of the Badlands Traveler. What an amazing aircraft, such great innovation. This is an airplane that's new in the universe in just the last couple of years.
Yeah, and Badlands Traveler started as something that was a kind of a Super Cub Cessna mashup, and now it's morphed and evolved over time into like a fully custom aircraft, fully custom wing. And we've got a couple competitors in National STOL that are building them right now.
I want one.
Yeah, me too.
Clint, I want one. Let's work this out, brother.
Here's Rod Hewitt now, 26-foot takeoff.
Unbelievable. Now, this is his last chance to beat his dad. This is it. This is for all the marbles. Let's get on our feet. Here's Hot Rod Hewitt in the S7.
Holding it off with the power. Good. Get it stopped.
Ooh, it's going to be a close one. That is going to be so close. What's the number he has to beat, Ryan?
Well, his dad had a combined score of 56.
Ooh, that's going to be so close, but I don't know.
63.
63 feet. So the story has been told, ladies and gentlemen. Father beats son, and I expect to see more and more of this battle, this war between father and son on the circuit.
I mean, 63 feet is nothing to sneeze at, but I think the real story of what we just saw was a combined score of 31 feet in the adventure class. This is something new this season. Typically, the grand champion is someone from the unlimited or the sports class. This is just someone with the shortest number. But adventure class this season, twice now, unseating everybody with Jeff Daly. So what an incredible, incredible day it has been here at Moses Lake.
Well, now that the official competition is over, Ryan, I think we have a special treat because there was a little bit of a grudge match brewing earlier today between two competitors in the 170 Mafia.
That's right. That's right. We saw Jughead and Tegan competing out there, and they said, we'd like to do it again. We've got a few minutes before we have to turn the field over to our friends in the RC aircraft, and hopefully we can get this going here. We've got Tegan and Jughead powered up in the pits and making their way out to the runway.
Well, let's set the stage. What's going on here, Ryan? What we've got is a grudge match round, and these pilots are going to go and compete with each other.
To beat me. You haven't beat me yet, and you got 220 horsepower. What would you do if you had to fly a real airplane?
You don't think this is a real airplane? I bet I could beat you in your own airplane.
Oh, I would call it double or nothing bet, but if I had to take that bet, it might be triple or nothing.
We're listening live in the cockpit of an exchange between John Council and Tegan.
Half a load of gas.
Well, shouldn't have gone to Mexican food last night. Tell you what, I don't know. One of these folks out here would like to see if which one is really the best pilot. Maybe we should think about doing a little grudge match.
I'm down for it. Well, I bet I could beat you in your own airplane. I bet you wouldn't jump out here and fly mine. You're too scared of all this power.
You think so, huh? Well, I'll tell you what. Fighter pilots don't usually back down from challenges.
Yeah, you gonna come over here and show me what's for?
All right. You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. They've challenged each other. What's going to happen now is John Council's going to get out of his 170. Tegan's going to get out of her 170. They're going to swap airplanes. This is what it's all about. We're going to see who's really the best pilot here at National STOL.
Folks in Moses Lake, you are seeing so many firsts here at National STOL. You're seeing pilots so grudge matchy that they need to swap aircraft. You saw a 34-foot combined score from a brand new Bush plane. And you've got the howling wind, and frankly, we've never competed on volcanic ash before. It is one heck of a Saturday. You guys having fun out there?
Yeah.
Holy guacamole.
Yeah, we can hear you guys out there. The pilots are excited. We're all excited. We're going to have such a great day of air show today. While we have a moment, make sure you're hydrating. Lather on that sunscreen. It is cool temperatures today. That can be a little bit of a sleeper for you. There's still a good amount of UV rays out there. So take care of yourself, take care of your little ones, and let's have a great day here at Moses Lake Airshow 2024. Now back to the flight line. The engines are now running. Now we've got Tegan in Jughead's airplane and the other way around.
Jughead is going to enjoy some power, and Tegan's going to enjoy some angle of attack with those fatter tires. I want to give a shout out to the folks that are going to be after this. Make sure you stick around here in Moses Lake. We've got an awesome show of RC aircraft, another great way to get into. Sorry. Just push the
Let's go back
forward.
to the cockpit and listen live to Jughead and Tegan. Tegan in the lead right now in Jughead's airplane.
Go.
Nice takeoff from Tegan in Jughead's airplane there.
This thing doesn't even move. I don't know how you fly it.
All skills.
Is it a brake strat you got on the front?
Whoa, nice and short from Jughead there. Oh, man.
50 feet.
Beautiful takeoff there from Jughead and Tegan's airplane. Now, as they make their way around, Tegan has an opportunity to put in a short landing in Jughead's airplane.
So the grudge match is underway. Look at Tegan coming around the bend, base to final in Jughead's plane. I've never seen anything like this. It is so fun watching the camaraderie and the competitiveness of these pilots. Again, make sure after this that you hang out for the RC show that's going to be right in front of the runway we've been participating on. And then you've got a great day at Moses Lake Airshow. You've got A-10 Warthog, C-17s, Brad Worston, David Costa, Mark Peterson, Tom Larkin, John Melby. You got everybody. Here comes Tegan now in Jughead's plane.
This is so fun to see Tegan flying Jughead's airplane. Now, these are two similar airplanes, but very different performance-wise. And I got to tell you, way
She's
to go.
Down. Good over the line. Sub 100 feet.
Fantastic. That's going to make it difficult for Jughead.
So Tegan's takeoff, this is interesting. Tegan's takeoff was 136. Jughead using Tegan's plane, 82 feet. That's going to sting a little bit. Let's see what happens with the landings.
Yeah, no, Jughead was always telling us that Tegan's airplane would be superior on takeoff, though. So I'm not totally surprised there because it's all going to come down to the landing. Tegan putting on a clinic there with only an 80-footer on that last one. Now here comes Jughead in Tegan's airplane to try and match that. So if he comes in at basically under 138 feet, he'll win.
Oh, man, if I'm Tegan, I'm watching this and I'm feeling a little weird about it.
Right? Oh, my goodness.
Hold it off, hold it off. Gave up a lot with that last burst of power.
Ooh.
Oh, it's close.
I think he did it. That is actually good piloting skills. Fantastic there from John Council in Tegan's airplane, putting in a sub 100-foot landing, putting him the winner of the grudge match. We're waiting for the official scores, of course, but I'm going to call it.
He's calling it. What happens if this number is like very long? No, you're right. 177 feet combined for John Jughead Council in Tegan LaPointe's plane. 216 feet combined for Tegan LaPointe and Jughead, John Jughead Council's plane. Although I want to give Tegan some props here. She never scratched.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
And
What
guess
a
who
great
scratched
performance.
Twice?
John.
Yeah, John scratched twice. So a little bit of a difference there, but that grudge match was so fun. It has been an absolutely amazing day here at Moses Lake. We're going to be doing it again tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. before the air show tomorrow. If you're watching the broadcast, stick around because we've got the award ceremony, the podium presentations for the pilots. But here at Moses Lake, we're going to get things cleaned up for you and hand the airspace over to the RC demonstrations. And we saw them yesterday, Corey.
Oh, my gosh.
Super cool.
You are about to see some of the most ground-pounding, nitro-burning, craziest action you've ever seen. These RC aircraft, make no mistake, these are real aircraft. They're just smaller. But we're about to see some of the most beautiful aerial displays known to mankind. And we've seen some physics-defying stuff in STOL. But we're about to see some even crazier physics-defying stuff with the RC guys.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely incredible. Watching the helicopters in particular is my favorite part of it, watching them flop around and do all that cool stuff. So I think the takeaway for me this morning in Moses Lake, too, is, again, these are all ways that you can get involved in aviation, right? You can start with STOL on your Xbox or your computer. You can come compete with us there. You can get involved in RC aviation and learn to fly those and have a lot of fun there. That can turn into a career, frankly. You could be a cinema drone pilot. I've met a lot of those. I do some of that myself. So you could start there and build a whole career for yourself without ever setting foot in a cockpit. But then if you want to get into a fun way to compete and become proficient in aircraft, come hang out at National STOL. Get your 150, your 172. Let's look at the final results of Adventure Class. Presented by Legend Aircraft, Mike Babcock in the 2022 Rands S21 with a combined score of 142, and Jeff Daly with that incredible 31 feet combined. Jeff Daly's out in front of the booth right now getting a lot of handshakes and fist bumps. Let's move over to the sport class. John Smith with it. Nothing to sneeze at. I want to be clear. 106 feet combined, and Rod Hewitt with a combined score of 63 feet, taking home the sports class.
Wow, I got to tell you, I cannot believe the absolute shocking performances from this afternoon. Unbelievable flying. It's a testament to National STOL. Just so much fun. I cannot believe how much fun this has been today just to watch. But the pilots out there have had a great time as well.
Absolutely incredible. I think they all had a good time. There are a lot of them hanging out, talking, reliving the stories of glory out there. It has been one heck of a Saturday. Again, don't forget to join us tomorrow. Corey, before we wrap up, anyone should find you online? They want to see more airplane Corey Robbins stuff?
You know, I'm just Corey Robin. Find me online. I'm on just about every platform you possibly can imagine. And where can we find you, Ryan?
You can check me out at Super Aero. Go to YouTube, Super Aero, little interview show that you and I met on a long time ago.
One of my favorite shows on the internet, actually.
Oh,
you do a
that's
very
too
good job.
kind.
Always
He's
has
too
the
kind.
greatest guests. And you ask the impactful, hard questions.
Well, we do our best. All right, they're wetting down the field over there. We're going to move on to our podium presentation for those of you online. But if you're here in Moses Lake, thank you so much for your hospitality. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be back with more STOL right after this. What's up, Av Geeks and STOL Freaks? Welcome to Lone Star STOL here in beautiful Sulphur Springs, Texas. It's Luke Spore, everybody, 2019 American Legend Aircraft MWH. Round of applause for Chuck Olmstead. In the gray and orange MWH, Ryan Shirley, everybody. Give a round of applause for
about 60 feet on that one. It's an unlimited class. It's what you've been waiting for. That's right, the beast mode coax, Colin Kaneva.
Frank Knapp showing that he deserves to belong here.
Whoa, that was legendary.
Looking for a more affordable entry into bush plane flying? How about paramotoring, aka the dirt bike of the sky? Paramotoring STOL is the next best thing, and this adventure motor that you wear on your back is your ticket to getting airborne quick. At Aviator Paramotor, our 2-week training takes you from zero to hero.
Sunrise this morning, it was beautiful. There was a thin layer of fog flying. It's just like all the stress and all that kind of just floats away. It's really peaceful.
From no experience to feeling confident and competent flying on your own. Let the team at Aviator Paramotor in Lake Wales, Florida, teach you your new superpower of running into the sky. Classes are filling up quick, but there are spots available today, so call now. Side effects include, but not limited to, significant life changes, foot drags, ear-to-ear smiles. Find the extreme freedoms of ripping around the skies in your new adventure motor with friends.
Coming across the Florida line, and I started overheating a little bit. Wound up having my motor go out on me over Quincy, Florida. Landed, come to find out, head gasket went out, and also there was a bunch of stuff plugging up the radiator, so lines couldn't fully circulate, so that was why that was happening. It was pressurizing my system. I wound up kind of making a decision to pull it, so I just went and got one and put it in. Took about a day to put in, a day to test. Figured out the radiator issue, pulled the radiator, and there was a core line in the radiator. It was kind of dark black, which means that it was hot. There wasn't anything getting through it, so we figured it out. Part of it, we're out here running these machines at 6,000 RPM. The unfortunate part is when you're not cooling them correctly, like what was happening to mine, it'll get hot and blow the head gasket. It's been awesome to fly it up the East Coast for the last 4 or 5 days. 9,000 mile motor. Got super lucky to find it and put it in.
We've had it in all of our airplanes. Ever since we started with the Piper Saratoga in the early 2000s. We did the pulse oximeter and CO detector in there. We've upgraded to there. Now we have a Cessna 340 that I was talking to him in Germany last year, and he was like, oh, you got to put the cabin altitude thing in the plane. I said, well, send it to me. So we put it in there, and it actually is really nice. This aircraft flies above 18,000, 10,000 feet, so up to 23,000 feet the other day. The cabin altitude light comes on the manufacturer's panel, and boom, the CO Guardian comes on and says, all right, you're above 10,000, your cabin altitude is above 10,000 feet. So watch out. So it's kind of nice to have that redundancy in the plane. So for a pressurized aircraft, that is so important for me. I get that oxygen mask ready, make sure my oxygen is good.
You said that the most common position for the CO Guardian's over there on the right side?
Yeah, it would be generally somewhere in this area. And, if you went into the panel, and obviously you can go into the panel, and with this particular one I showed you the panel, he's basically got a 275, his ELT is going to be here. You've got USB charging port and programming port, which will be tied into these, is going to be here. Then you've got Bose, these 2 audio jacks here, and this particular prop de-ice one is going to end up in this here. You can build something off of this flange, which you could put the CO Guardian here. You could mount it to the top or the bottom of the glove box. Or if you're going to do a panel mount, you've got the mount holes, and I think there's 7, 9 holes that actually go through the panel, and basically I would cut those.
A bunch of us came in early. We were like, hey, let's go down to Kitty Hawk. Mr. Bill, Brandon, JB, and me, and Ed. We cruised down the coast, dude, at like 120, 500 foot right at the minimums and waving at everyone. It was so cool. We landed at Kitty Hawk, which is, the first flight. Landed there, went around, got to see the Wright brothers plane, the field that they landed it in. And man, it was an experience. I never thought I'd ever see that place. It's cool to come out and do this stuff. We went from there down to the beach. We landed, walked out to the beach, sat there talking to all the people that were fishing, man. They're laughing, having a good time. We came right over their cars, landing, hung out for a little bit, put our feet in the water, and then got back up and headed up here. And it was a good time, man. This is what it's about. Like, the competition's fun, but it's more fun to take everyone out and go beach land, go to a couple different places, and just experience the other side of it, not just competition. And it's like a big brotherhood, and a big family. And I'm lucky to be a part of it.
At Aerolids, we believe that innovation is equal parts inspiration and perspiration. Since our inception in 2006, we embarked on a mission to redefine the expectations of aerospace lighting. Entering the aerospace lighting market, which had remained largely unchanged for 50 years and in drastic need of a new product with fresh look and unequaled performance, Aerolids was inspired to redefine the expectations, which resulted in a series of innovative designs. Hungry for new ideas, backed by a company that valued the patronage, customers quickly adopted the new standard of quality, design, and performance never seen before in the industry. Over the past 12 years, Aerolid's installation, ranging from the experimental and 23 markets up to the space and military applications, with over 15 tactical military platforms featuring products in both overt and covert operations. Aerolids continues to lead the industry in design, reliability, and unsurpassed performance. Unique in its presence and unmatched in its perseverance, Aerolids serves the aviation market from one spectrum to the next. From you to you too, Aerolids is redefining the expectations.
And we in a very windy Moses Lake, Washington. It's been an incredible day here at the air show. We've got RC jets taking off there, but right now you got to know how this all ended up. We've got our touring class with us right now, and first of all, do you guys know how it ended up? Did you see the scores? You already know, or is it a surprise? Surprise. Whoa, that thing is very loud. All right, here we go. In second place with a combined score of 494 feet, Paxton Prentice. And in first place with a combined score of 305 feet, it's John Douglas. And real quick, we're gonna get you up on the podium in a second, but John, tell us how it was up there today.
Sporty, really sporty. And in a way I wish I was owning the end because there was more wind. I could have done 250 feet, but it was fun. We had a great time. We didn't bang an airplane. We didn't hit a bird this year.
Didn't hit a bird this year?
Yeah, but it was fun. Had a great time. Appreciate it.
Awesome. And Paxton, tell me, whoa, I almost just ate it on that thing. We got FOD blowing down the runway. The wind really picked up. Paxton, what was it like for you guys?
It was pretty windy. Real windy.
But we're used to that in the basin. The basin, it gets really windy in the spring.
This is usually how it is, so
Pretty
no
average.
stranger.
No stranger to this. Let's get up on the podium here. Get a great photo. Look at these. Everyone, these are your Moses Lake Touring Class champions. That's right. Round of applause. Yeah, let's go. Just be mindful of the wind. I'm going to get out of the way. Here we go. Woo! Oh, right in the face. They're hitting us with it. Oh. They're targeting the announcer. And we'll be right back with you. All right, we'll be right back with another class after this here in Moses Lake.
We've had it in all of our airplanes. Ever since we started with the Piper Saratoga in the early 2000s. We did the pulse oximeter and CO detector in there. We've upgraded to there. Now we have a Cessna 340 that I actually was talking to him in Germany last year, and he was like, oh, you got to put the cabin altitude thing in the plane. I said, well, send it to me. So we put it in there, and it actually is really nice. This aircraft flies above 18,000, 10,000 feet, so up to 23,000 feet. The other day, the cabin altitude light comes on the manufacturer's panel, and boom, the CO Guardian comes on and says, all right, you're above 10,000, your cabin altitude is above 10,000 feet. So watch out. So it's kind of nice to have that redundancy in the plane. So for a pressurized aircraft, that is so important for me. I get that oxygen mask ready, make sure my oxygen is good.
And we're back again. The wind is still howling with the backcountry class. Now, look at these awesome competitors. I got to ask you, do you know how it ended up? You kind of came to the booth. You figured it out. All right, here we go. Let's talk about who won in third place with a combined score of 216 feet, Alan Hewitt. And then a close one. We had the grudge match later, yeah, we did just a minute ago with a combined score of 208 feet, Tegan LaPointe. And in first place with a combined score of 202 feet, that's just 6 feet. That's a Corey Robin between them. John Jughead Council. Okay. John, I got to ask you, you're from this area. You've flown in this area a lot. Sorry, T. Oh, here, I'll do this. Go around me. How was it flying today back at the home airport for you?
You always want to come home and fly and to compete well at your home airport. It was really special. The first time my mom and my sister got to fly and watch us out here, so that was extra cool. I've got so much memories of flying here, soloing here. My dad's soloing here, my brother. And Dad's gone, but man, he was with us today.
Yeah, incredible performance here for you guys. Anything you want to say to a certain lady right next to us?
Well, we did the grudge match. I think I beat her in the grudge match in her own airplane as well, but that just means round one, because any given day she could beat me. And Betty Page is a great airplane. A lot of fun.
He did beat you a little bit in your own airplane. How is that a little salt in the wound, or?
Well, I mean, it's probably just because I wasn't used to having no power taking off. But I do seem to remember I beat him in landing in his own airplane too, though. I think my landing score was better than his.
I think you might be right, yeah.
So, I mean, I say we call it even.
I mean, it's up to you. It's up to you two. You can decide if it's even. And then, Alan, a real quick question for you. You're coming in strong into the whole competition. You got to go in an earlier heat. Feeling good about it? Feeling good about it?
Well, I think I might have got a little bit robbed by the wind because I think they had better wind, and I'm wondering why I didn't get invited to their grudge match. I think they were just afraid of a 172.
Yes. I think they were a little afraid about the 172. All right, get up here, folks. Come on. Quick photo op for everybody. This is your backcountry class, everybody. Get a photo, get those trophies high. All right, put them on down, folks. We got to celebrate. We got to celebrate. Everyone, this is your Moses Lake 2024 backcountry class winners. And I'm going this way this time. Oh, man. What an awesome show. All right, we'll be right back with the rookie class. I'm live. I'm ready to go. Oh, okay. Normally they give you a countdown. All right, I'm ready to go here. Now we're in Moses Lake. It's getting windier by the minute. We've got the rookie class, and what an incredible rookie class. I don't even know if it's fair for you to be standing here. We had an absolutely incredible rookie class. We got to go through the scores here. In third place with a combined score. These are insane numbers for rookie class. With a combined score of 333 feet, Mike Council. Give it up for Mike, everybody. In second place, Shad Forrester putting on a clinic in a 172 in the rookie class, a combined score of 242. And Stephen Hewitt with a combined score of 56 feet in that Rans S7.
So close.
It was so close. All right, so Mike, I'll start with you. First time out in the Chub Cub. How was it?
This was great. I'd like to thank you guys for coming out here. Put on an incredible show. It was a blast. I encourage everyone, come out and watch, or if you're a pilot, join. It was a great time. Great community. Thank you guys.
5 out of 5 stars would recommend?
5 out of 5.
Nice. You heard that. You got to come compete. All right, Shad, let's see. Who do we got here, Shad?
This is my daughter, Piper.
Hey, Piper. Digging the trophy.
Yeah, she's having a good time with the trophy.
Anything you want to say to the folks at home?
It was awesome experience. Doesn't take a fancy airplane, just a 172, but still had a great time. You guys put on a fantastic show. Great time competing against these guys. Almost had him. So close, so close. Maybe next time.
Well, thanks so much for coming out. Thanks for coming, Piper. Yeah. She's like, all right. All right, I'm going to do a little do-si-do here. All right, so you can't be in the rookie class anymore. I don't know if anyone told you that, now that you've won.
Now I have to go head-to-head against my son.
You got to go head-to-head against your son, but how are you feeling about that victory today?
Oh, I feel great. Yep. You know, at Mayday STOL in Nebraska, he beat me. He came in first, I came in second. But in the STOL drag, I beat him by half a second.
Yeah.
So now it was great today. You know, I thought he had a really good chance to beat me, but it just didn't work out.
Well,
I want to say something about my brother Alan. Doesn't he fly that 172 incredibly well? Pure stock. I'm just impressed with his technique. I don't think he could have done it any better.
Yeah, super clean flying. The Hewitt family putting on a clinic every time. Really great to see you guys fly. Let's get you guys up there. Let's get a picture and everything. Everybody, this is your rookie class at the Moses Lake Airshow 2024. Moses Lake STOL coming out for the first time, putting on a show. Give them a big round of applause, and it's time to celebrate. And we'll see what Piper does with this. It is non-alcoholic. I don't know if she's drinking cider yet, but I'm going to get upwind again. That's your rookie class, everybody. All right, we'll be back at a minute with the adventure class after this. And we are back here at Moses Lake. The winds have picked up so much that Jeff Daly, who we're going to hear about in a second, actually had to go secure his aircraft. It's blowing away. We finished the competition at just the right time. I'm joined here right now with Mike Babcock from the adventure class in the S21. Mike, tell me a little bit about how it was competing today.
Oh, geez. Look at that wind. And you see me on my first landing. I mean, it got dicey in a hurry. So hanging on the prop was not the flavor of the day. So other than that, had fun. Plane did well enough.
Yeah, we called it in the booth. Corey and I called it a little gnarly, but you did a good job recovering it.
Gnarly would be a good word. Yeah.
So you said you've been dialing in the aircraft. You've done a lot of modifications to it, bringing it back up, getting it going again. Anything that after this competition you're going to be changing as you move into the next one?
That's a great question. I think I need to add about 3 feet on each wing, or maybe actually go with a Badlands STOL wing. Rip those wings off and go with a Badlands STOL wing. How about that?
Yeah, what's it like competing against the Badlands Traveler? I mean, the elephant in the room is Jeff Daly had a combined score of 30.